Yeah, that's right. I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Hello, Knick family. Welcome to the Just Knickin' It Weekly Show. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen, joined by Geoff, Klafter, Jerrell, Knick Nation, Escard. A lot to talk about today. We're going to start with the state of the Knicks, 8-game winning streak, huge double overtime win against the Denver Nuggets in Madison Square Garden last night. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the trade for Jose Alvarado, how that helps the Knicks. And then also the changing landscape of the Eastern Conference with the trades that was made and how that impacts the Knicks as well. But let's just start with how everyone's doing.
Great.
And salute to the chat, man. Happy to be here.
Yes. Salute to the chat, man. Salute to y'all first, actually, and then salute to the chat.
All right. Okay. All right. So let's start with just the state of the Knicks, like what you've been seeing over the past 8 games. If you want to focus on last night, you definitely can. Who or what has stood out for you? Geoff and I had our feel of it, even Knick Nation this morning. So we're going to start with Jerrell and Escard. Just, who or what has stood out for you either over the 8-game win streak or last night? Either one.
Well, Steph, remember the last time I was on the show, like I missed the last 2 shows. So the last time I was on the show, everybody was in turmoil. Like everybody was jumping out the window. Like we was on a 4-game losing streak and we was terrible at the time. So like I didn't get none of my frustration out when it came to the last couple shows. So now everybody's riding high. Like I said before, it's going to be peaks and valleys throughout the season. We're obviously at a peak now. 8 games in a row. Our defense obviously is the key to that. We look like night and day compared to the last time I was on the show a couple weeks ago. So for me, it's the defense. That was the big key. Jalen Brunson, the way he's seeing the floor is a little bit better now. But really for me, it's the defense. That's the key for me. It's not any singular player playing better than, before anything like that. It's just how cohesive we are on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's something sustainable from what you're seeing?
I mean, yeah, because it was like that kind of like the not as good, but it was kind of like that in the beginning of the season. But for some reason, it fell off. Like I would like to know why the fall off was like that after the the cup game. So I would rather I would like to know what happened because obviously something happened. Something fractured the locker room. It seemed like. I wasn't on the show the last week when Mikal Bridges had a good game, and then he said what he said after the game. It didn't really make much sense to me when it came to like the uncoachable stuff and his ego and stuff like that. Like you're not even playing that good to have an ego for me. So it didn't really make sense to me. So for that, I didn't like the way the locker room was like the direction the locker room was in. But something must have happened. I don't know if they said that, told everybody that the rumors might be out there, but nobody's getting traded. At least nobody, in our starting 5. I don't know what it was, but something must have clicked because it can't just be like a players only meeting happened and Jalen Brunson just got up front of the room and just started yelling at everybody and everybody just fell in line. Like something happened. But I do think it's sustainable.
Okay. Escard, who or what has stood out for you?
I think for me, because the last time I was on the show, I think we had a 3 or 4 game win streak, and I had to hold on because I was like, I got to see more from this team. Hey, what's on AJ? See more from this team, and it's just like the wins was okay, but they was against like I ain't gonna say bottom feeders, but the win against the Denver really kind of like okay, let's see if they can keep it up because this is how they was playing early in the beginning of the season, and they just stopped playing. And we couldn't figure out why they stopped playing and just started leaving out there. But I think like what Josh Hart said last year is the same thing last year and this year. Egos and people got personal agendas, and that's what happened. That's all it is, man. But I know who the culprits are. It's Bridges, Towns, and Brunson to a certain extent. So I think those were the culprits, and it's the same one that Josh Hart was speaking of last year. But yeah, the defense that stood out, the heart and hustle and determination. That's what I say the Knicks, if they could play with hustle, tempo, and stuff like that. And I think that's what changed it around too. And they're moving the ball a little bit better, not standing around. That's another thing. The offense was humming in the first half of the season, in the beginning of the season. And I think they went away back to the ISO ball, and that's what kills the offense because everybody just standing around. So I just need to see more offensive cutting and things like that. And guys are making more of an effort on defense and talking to each other and communicating. And also Mitchell Robinson, man, like I said, he's come to life. They find him in pick and rolls and stuff, which they should have been doing a long time ago. Those are easy buckets. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Mitchell Robinson and also Landry Shamet, man, since he's been back, Landry Shamet has helped the Knicks, with timely shooting, clutch shooting, defense and stuff like that, man. And that's why you see Clarkson is on the bench because he wasn't doing that. He was being too inconsistent, So, hey, we got somebody better to do it. So that's all we need. And also, defense, like I said, hopefully they can keep it up. I think they can sustain it, you know what I'm saying? Because it looked like Josh Hart looked like he got on the team talking to these guys and stuff like that, and they communicating, which is a lot better. So, yeah, man, I'm good.
Okay. Ajay, who or what has stood out for you either over the last 8 games or last night, whichever way you want to go with it?
You muted, boss.
Come on, come in correct. You already late. The people come in late. They got Russell the paper and all of this stuff.
Excuse me. You on the play and they 8 lanes down. Excuse me.
Definitely a fine. You definitely got fined tonight.
Oh boy. What stood out where the defense, the activity on defense. I think they make it a conscious effort to defend, and to not just the 3-pointer, but the fast break points coming against us. So I think kudos to them. Even Jalen Brunson's been playing defense, man, and he's really putting the effort. Like everybody's playing. And doing what they're supposed to do. Of course, the scoring has picked up. Cat's been, a lot of little things. Cat's been staying out of foul trouble, which is very important, man. He hasn't been playing. He still complained for not getting called, which those complaints are legit, man. He be getting mauled down low, and he's not getting called, man. He's just not getting the calls. But, he's complaining, but still managed to keep his head in the game and not doing those foolish fouls that that he's known for, So I listen. I think we, especially with Deuce and Hart out, 2 energy, activity, and defense guys out. I think we did good, man. The guys who's been getting playing time, and shout out to Diawara who's come in. He comes in, very aggressive. One of the games he was shooting, it wasn't dropping, but you know what? Those were good shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was taking the right shots. It just wasn't dropping, but at least the effort was there. Those guys, they're playing. And Mitch Rob, man, the defense is coming back to what it used to be. Like he's out there on the perimeter, like playing defense, moving his leg, moving sideways, trying to block shots, intimidating people, and even grab a couple of balls from people, just take the ball from them while playing defense. So there's been a lot of activities that stood out for me. If we keep going like this, man, we're going to be in a good place. If they play like this, if they able to keep that defense, that activity up.
Yeah, definitely agree. Knick Nation, anything you want to add? And then Geoff?
Just that Mitchell Robinson is the new Weema, so he's doing his thing, and I'm proud of him. If he could do that and keep that up, hey, you know what I mean?
If he can keep that up, we talking about something totally different.
No, I spoke on him, so I'll let Geoff go on.
Well, I just want to piggyback off something Escott said, and that's talking about I can't think of his name. I just froze.
Shamet,
Landry Shamet. Thank you. He's top 10 in the NBA in 3-point percentage right now, as far as shooting at a volume and knocking them down. So really been a key for us, and with injuries and everything else, we're going to need him to continue to step up and be a starter and contribute in a big way like he has been. So I think he's a big part of our turnaround.
Yeah, yeah. Without a doubt, this is I've dubbed this Contenders Week. Once we got past Washington, and last night was a really good showing. We have Detroit twice before the All Star break. We got Boston Sunday, and I believe we have Houston
Mhm.
before the All Star break. So I get up for games like this, kind of to see my
Me
team
too.
against the best,
Yes.
the better, the better competition. Yeah. So the Knicks stood pat at the trade deadline. Just talk to me about what you're seeing from this team overall, offensively, defensively, rotation wise, and if you thought it was a good decision to basically, we'll talk about Jose, Alvarado in a separate section, but disappointed they didn't make a bigger move, or really happy to see what this particular roster can do through the playoffs. Ajay, we'll start with you.
So, I mean, we know about the offense, the defense, the switch, the switching for offense for defense that Mike Brown's been doing. I think lately he's been doing a good job. Actually, he's doing a good job pretty much all season. There's only a couple of games where I could think of, like, what the hell is Mike Brown doing? But usually he's put the right guy in the right situation when we need the guys, right? But in terms of mixing it up in minutes, but he's done some very unconventional things. Like the game yesterday, at some point, I think he had McCullough in for some defense, like just literally for a few seconds. I thought that was at the end of regulation, maybe he had him in, or at the end of the first, just for a few seconds for a defensive stance. I thought that was like that was thinking outside the box. I don't know if it worked. I don't know what it is, but they needed some a certain level of defensive activity, and he picked one guy out of the blue, like who hasn't played in a long time. So he's thinking about the game, and he's actually watching the game and doing what the game. Maybe that's what the game told him to do, which I mean, I don't want to say it worked because we didn't. I don't think that stopped anything, but you don't want to say that it didn't work either because that didn't cause any oopsies, right? So, but I mean, the rotation's been good, and those guys that he's been putting in at those particular times, they've been responding. Certain things you hope, of course, when Jordan Clarkson comes on, he's not a defensive player, but sometimes, but you hope that he makes up for it on offense, right? He comes in and shoots better. And it's not like he's not taking the shots. It's just not falling. And I think I'm glad that the trading deadline passed and we keep him, because he's a guy that when you least expect it, he's going to come in and drop, 18 points, and you need guys like that, on your squad when you're going into the playoffs, right? Let me see. So we don't have Deuce. We don't have Hart. Like I said, I think he's managed, meaning the coach, manage what he has on the team with the guys that are out. He's done a pretty good job at it. So again, hopefully the chemistry develops a little more. He's introduced Landry Shamet at the right time. Shamet start the last game, I believe. Like he's done the right thing depending on the matchup, and that's what I like to see, right? And one of the things I used to complain with the previous coach Tibbs is that he was a bit too robotic. Like there's certain things you got to do depending on who you're matched up against, right? And at least I think this coach is trying to do that. Not that it's going to be successful all the time, but at least you see that the willingness and the capability of him doing that, he's doing it. So far, it's yielded pretty good results.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Anybody else, just in terms of just where the Knicks, where the Knicks are right now, and are you okay with the fact that they pretty much stood pat at the deadline as far as their core was concerned?
Well, I think that until the Giannis situation is resolved, I think that's kind of the way that's the way that it was going to go. Like, I think that the deal didn't happen now, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be revisited this summer. And so I think that the Knicks kind of made a conscious decision. They read the tea leaves or whatever you want to say, and they said, okay, we've been in communication with the Bucks. This isn't happening right now, which is fine because it gives us a chance to see what this group can do independently of that, and we're just going to take our swing and see how far it gets us, and then we can revisit that conversation in the off season if necessary. And so I think that it was kind of intentional, I think that's kind of goes along with the plan, so to speak. And as it goes, they increase their flexibility at the deadline, so they, even from that standpoint, they really look like winners despite not necessarily doing very much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I like is that we get a chance to see this team through the playoffs. Right now, obviously, if you have enough time, if you have an opportunity to get a player like Giannis, you do it. But they weren't able to make the trade. So now we get a chance to see him. Right? We didn't get a chance to see the Randall DiVincenzo, a healthy Randall DiVincenzo team through the playoffs. And had they made the trade, we wouldn't have got a chance to see this team through the playoffs to see what they could do at least the second time around. And we're going to get an opportunity to see that now. So I was curious about it, and we'll have an opportunity to see it. So for me, that's a good thing that came out of it. Anybody else in terms of the Knicks staying pat? Salute, coach. Now, if we could have got a wing or something, big around the edges, I would have been happier. But okay,
I'm okay. I'm okay with them staying pat with the core, because you just like you said, Queen. If you remember, I really hated that cat trade because I didn't see what our core group could do when they, with what they had. But I was really hoping for a power forward, man. Like Queen, I keep telling you, I was really hoping. Listen, not much. You just want somebody who could set good picks, grab a few rebounds, give you a few points here and there, but you can, and move their feet on defense. You don't need anything crazy, right? But I was just hoping for that big body, not another 5, but a big 4, like a good, even if not a big 4, but somebody who can play the 4.
AJ, I think Cool Mo D is the guy they want to fill those minutes in that role.
Yeah. But we also have to think about buyout. There's some dudes that's gonna buy out too, so that's another avenue. I don't know how much money they got, but that's another thing, the buyout. Kevon Looney, some other players, you just don't know, what they can do. But I think
he's going to be bought out.
I think he's going to be bought out. They was listing some guys that's going to be bought out and stuff like that. They had his name and stuff like that. I think I don't know, Marks, Ian Begley, I think, was talking about it earlier or something like that. They had some list of some guys who might be bought out.
I was really hoping Sadiq Bey, man. He's not a big powerful.
not on the buyout market.
No. Trade. I'm talking about trade.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cam Johnson got waived, so maybe Sadiq Bey could have got waived too.
Yeah.
But
I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed at the value point of how our players are seen, as opposed to some of these characters who I've seen go. Like, like I'll take, for instance, if Yabusele was on the Pacers and they traded him, they might have got number 1s for him. But we had to tag 2 seconds just to get rid of him. But to me, it's for some reason, I don't understand that. And I don't know if it's, we could be part of the problem.
Stigma.
I hate to say it, the stigma, the media, these narratives begin to get pushed on certain players. And I don't think I was too kind to Yabusele while he was here. So I could be part of the problem as well. You know what I mean? But to me, it just seems like that, because I'm looking at, I can't really remember all a host of them, but there's been so many trades. And when things calm down, I get the understanding of who moved where and what happened. But it just seemed like the instance that I heard of them and some of the picks that they were getting back for them, I was like, wait, what?
I know. I said the same thing.
Yeah, it just seemed weird. So that's the only part that I'm a little disappointed in. And as AJ said, is that I would have liked to have us gotten somebody who's in between a 4 and a 3, between a 4 and a 3, just to give those guys, you know what I mean, a veteran that comes in and during crunch times can handle, you know what I mean, the assignments and, you know, dealing with the pressure that comes with players. But what didn't happen. But as that guy said, he's giving me some inspiration that hopefully, you know, maybe somebody gets, you know, we get somebody that CAA, you know, maybe that CAA connections. Something happens, you know what I mean? Something happens on the back door, you know what I mean? That little backslide, something, you know, hit it with a 20 for, you know, let me in the back door, something, you know, pause, but you know what I mean.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I would just add that Yabusele had a player option, so I'm pretty sure that made it difficult.
Which he declined, by the way.
Right, to make the trade happen.
That was actually part of the terms and conditions of the trade. Was he waived the player option so that he could get traded out of New York? I saw that on Twitter.
Okay, good for him. And apparently he's playing well right now.
Yeah.
Chicago,
good for him.
Sometimes it's just a matter of a fit and offense and scheme and things of that sort. But I think that was part of the issue they were having, at least initially, was that teams just didn't want to, and maybe he wasn't willing to drop it except for Chicago. I don't know.
And I'm gonna say timing is everything. What a difference a week or 2 weeks make, because if the trade deadline was a week ago, I think some of them guys would have got traded. I think Giannis would have been here. When the Knicks was going through that losing streak and they was fractured, I think they would have made that trade. And I think because the trade deadline is now, those guys thought about it and started playing their butt off so they won't get traded. So they played great through the 8 games. But yeah, I think timing is everything, because I think if the trade deadline was a couple of weeks, I think they would have made the trade. But like I said, it's good. Like, they stay in pattern. Let's see what these guys can do, you know, throughout the regular season and in the playoff, and see if they could really make a push and win this thing and see what happens, man. That's, you know, it's a good thing. So I want to see how these guys are going to react for the rest of the season and see how they play. And if this player's only meeting really helped out, we'll see.
Yeah. And you really get to assess a team in the playoffs. Like, I'm happy how the Knicks look right now, but it's the playoffs where you really get to assess a team and you really get to assess players, because it's just the lights are brighter, you're keyed on more. You're playing a team at least 4 times in a series, right? There are no surprises, so you really get to see who rises to the occasion and who doesn't. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And then in the off season, they could be like, yeah, I think we do need to move off this guy. You know, they'll have better intel as well. All right. Somebody asked, I think it was Coach asked, and I guess I'll put it to the panel, Coach. Let me see if I can find it though. All right. He wanted to know how many of you are mad that Cat is still here. We'll just stick with that part of it. Yeah, how many? I mean, are you disappointed that Cat is still here? Jerrell, we'll start with you.
No, not disappointed at all. I think Cat is an all-star. Do I think he's better than Giannis? No. But I also don't think the Giannis trade is dead. Like, Giannis didn't go anywhere. And I think, you know, it'll be revisited in the summer. But as of right now, I'm not mad that Cat is here. Like, I never disliked Cat. So I actually think he's going to play well for us. And he played well for us last year in the playoffs. He's not one of the people that I actually have a problem with on the team when it comes to that. I reserve my frustration more with like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby sometimes, not Cat. So no, I'm not mad at Cat isn't here at all. Like, he just made the All-Star team. Can't be mad unless you are the type of person that really, really wanted Giannis here. And with that calf injury, I didn't really think he was going to get traded in the first place. Like, nobody knows the extent of that calf injury. It could go it could lead to an Achilles injury. What if we would have traded all our pieces and he would have hurt this year? Then what? Then we would have been, on ground zero again. So no, I'm not mad that Cat is here.
Yeah. Ajay, are you mad? Cat is still here?
Oh, I'm actually happy that Cat's still here, and I'm happy that I don't know if the reports were even true that they were looking to trade him. I don't know, whatever. I'm just happy, just like Jerrell. The only player, the core group that I was willing to, that I wouldn't be mad if they parted ways with, was Mikal Bridges because of his lack of impact or his extensive or his inconsistency, I should say. Okay, because everyone that on our team have stretches where they don't play well, but his stretch is like, that's a stretch. Like, and he's, I don't know. I feel like the effort's not there. Sometimes his head's not in the game. But no, I don't want to lose Cat. I like him. I like the 3-point shooting. I wish he would drive less. But so no, I'm glad he's still here.
Knick Nation.
Well, in spite of, I really don't want to do this because I really don't want to lose David Smith as my agent because that guy will fight for me like nobody's business. You know what I mean? If I had him on my side, you know what I mean? But I'm going to reserve my right on this one until we close out on the point of the playoffs. And the reason why I say that is because it has never been his physical abilities. It's his mental gymnastics that turn on and off. And if he can keep that on the good side, he's got my full support. But when he does that mental gymnastics things and starts doing like this silliness, these offensive fouls, which are turnovers, you know what I mean? Fouling and just poking people for no reason. And it's not really like part of, like a clean play or even a play that should be happening at all. Then as long as he can stay off that side and stay on the All-Star side, my full support, because I'm still a Knick fan and you know what I mean? And I want our players to do well, but I don't want to live with that mental gymnastics. I'm not married to him. So therefore that's my mentality of it is that you're getting paid that much money, that much of our salary cap, that comes with responsibilities, and it comes with also mental health responsibilities. And if it looks like it's going, what's the name? Then no. But as long as he can stay on suit and even last night, him fouling out, I'll say it like that, I was still good with that. You know why? Because those were fouls that, hey, some of them were temperamental, some of them, you know what I mean? Him trying to get there, some of them trying to get an edge, those kind of fouls like that. Most of those I could live with. It's the dumb, retarded fouls that we know that we all go, what the is he doing? Those kind of things. As long as he stays off that, I'm all for him.
Escard?
Yeah, I wasn't mad he didn't get moved, but if he did get moved, I wasn't going to be shedding no tear. But no, well, what I'm saying is I got to see in the playoff. I'm all about the playoff, about the postseason. The regular season is cool, but the playoffs is what you get paid for, what you was brought here for, So that's what I'm looking forward to, especially against the series against Detroit, a physical team. I want to see how that's going to go because, like I said, I'm looking for a Derek Jeter, not an Alex Rodriguez. So that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to see who's going to show up in the playoff when it comes, in the crunch time. That's all I care about. So we'll see how far he goes and how far he gets because a lot of it's going to depend on him and Brunson. But if Cat plays real big and play like the way he's supposed to play, we can get real far. We probably could win the whole thing. But if he, fades out like Julius Randle did in some of the playoffs, it's like, then there goes your answer. But no, I'm not mad if he got moved or he's still here and stuff like that. I'm cool. Cat's cool. I'm great.
What were your thoughts on his performance in the playoffs last year?
For the most part, he played good in the playoffs and stuff like that. And I know the Pistons didn't have Isaiah Stewart, who was a physical player to play against him and stuff like that. But Cat he still brought it, so I'm cool. But I know that's the one series that Detroit's circling against us, so we'll see how that goes. And then Boston now with Vucevic now, that's another thing too. So hey, it's getting a little bit grind here now to get into the playoffs.
Jeff?
I actually think if with Vucevic in Boston, that may actually help us because Towns can attack him relentlessly, and he can't stop anything. So, from that perspective, I think that may actually help us in that matchup. But I love Towns. I personally, I don't think it's disrespect to say that I'm willing to move Towns in a Giannis deal because Giannis is a multiple-time MVP and Towns is not. So that is not a disrespect to Karl Anthony Towns' abilities or anything else. Karl Anthony Towns is the best shooting big man in the league for his entire career. Like he's a 50, 40, 80 guy. Are those percentages a little bit lower this year? Yes. Do I expect them to return to normal? Yes. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that it would be malpractice as an organization if you didn't kick the tires and see what was possible. And if he got in his feelings, that's on him. Like I can't, he's got to get over that. Like he still has a job to do and he's still here. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that if we unlock he and Brunson together, if we get them playing synergistically, if we get them both maximized, then the ceiling for this team is extraordinarily high. I haven't really seen a lot of evidence of that under Mike Brown's system or last year, even under Thibodeau. So I'm a little bit discouraged by that aspect of it. But I think that if you can find a way to maximize those two players, and we saw it in certain points in the Detroit series and in the Boston series last year, I thought not so much in the Pacers series, but that was kind of a weird, I think if we hold on in game one, we play the Thunder in the finals. Like I will say that till the day I die. Just, so you're talking about one crazy bounce, at the end of the game and a bunch of incredible shot making by the Pacers. So, I mean, from that standpoint, I love Towns. I think he's made us. I think he was the difference between us going to the second round of the playoffs and go to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that's how impactful he was, and I think that he can be part of getting us those 3 extra wins to get to the finals this time around.
Yeah. I'm with Jeff. I'm a big Cat fan, but I do see what Knick Nation is talking about as well with the mental lapses and not really being focused and not being strong with the ball. Like those are the two things that for me. When he gets into moments like that. But I'm not going to take that to be that's who Cat is all the time because it's just not. And that wasn't him last year as well. And it hasn't been him throughout his 10-year career. And so he had a period where I didn't know who the hell he was. Like, who is this guy? But he seems to be back, so to speak. And historically, his playoff record is up and down. It has been up and down. But I thought last year for us, it was more up than down. I thought Cat was a playoff riser for us. Every single game, no. But there was games when Brunson wasn't a playoff riser for us in that Indiana series as well, right? I thought that wasn't a good look for him either. And we could talk about schematics and lineups and things of that sort for Brunson, but you can talk about it for Cat as well. So if you're not trading him for Giannis, don't come back with no broke pieces. Don't come back with role players. Don't come back with something that Brunson has to feed and generate shots for. He got enough of that on this team as it is. If you're going to trade Cat, bring back a 1A, a 1B, a number 2. That's it. Other than that, we'll just live, we'll just live with it. But of late, he's been great. And I agree with you, Jeff. I don't know if he could ever be maximized under this system. Let's see. I don't think it's a big man system, so to speak. But if he could just do what he's been doing the past few games, double doubles, focusing on rebounds, focusing on defense, when he does get the shot, take it. I think we'll be I think we'll be okay.
But Queen,
So-
he's not just a. I think he could be. I don't know about maximize, but he could do better in the system, right? Because he's not just a big man; he's a shooting big man. I feel like they don't.
I'm with you. I'm just saying how
No,
he's used in this system. I don't think he's maximized, but no, I agree.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, no, I don't know, and I think that's him. Like he wants to drive, which is fine because you don't want to give him the same regimen, right? You want to switch your game up a little bit. I wish I would see him down low a little bit, played out, but that's not his game. So he either shoots the three or drive, right? Those are the two things he does, and you know, if you mix and match with those two, man, he can be successful just doing that.
Yeah. I would like to see him down low as well. Again, I don't know how much of that is him or how much of that is scheme that they want him at up top to create the spacing for drives. I don't know.
I actually don't want Cat going down low. I don't think he's good at it. He couldn't post up Russell Westbrook.
That's an indictment.
I don't want him posting up. I want him outside. He seems way more comfortable doing that.
He can do it. He's thinking about it too much. It's like when a small guy gets on him, it's a lot of thoughts, but it's not thoughts of just saying, hey, I'm going to just shoot up over you. He makes it too complex. So it's weird. I don't know why he just makes it so complex.
Yeah, if that's the case, yeah, I don't want him posting up there.
Yeah, like I don't see why he feels he has to back the player all the way down. Like I don't understand that.
He ain't good at it.
Over the top.
Well, and when you put the ball down, you give the advantage to the young, smaller player, right? Because then they have a chance to get it. You keep the ball high and you shoot it. Then what are they going to do? Nothing. Like the only way to give them an advantage is to put the ball on the deck.
Yeah.
If he jab steps into you and you're 6'3", 6'4", he's 7 feet. If he jab steps into you and then just steps back to shoot, you have no chance of blocking that shot
At all.
Well, let's just say this. Cat has been playing basketball for a very long time, and we just gave him like 5 pointers just off the show. So he obviously don't want to do the stuff that we talking about. I agree with what everybody is saying. He is not good at it, and it's not working. So it's almost, I don't know, it's like trying to put a round peg into a square hole. Like it doesn't work. We just want him to be that person.
I've seen him in Minnesota play in the post.
Not that much. Maybe when he was a little younger. But like, remember when they moved him to the 4? Like he was never in the post anymore with Rudy down there. And that was for like the last 2 or 3 years before he got here. So I think we just want him to be that because he's obviously talented. Like everybody said, he could get his shot off anytime he wants to, but it's not clicking for some reason.
And I will say this, I know I give Cat a lot of grief and stuff, but we have to realize he is playing through injuries all season long, you know, even though, and nobody's never talked about that because remember in the beginning of the season, they talk about he had that quad injury and they don't know if it's going to tear or whatever, and he just got to play through it. So, I mean, because that injury got to take at least about 3 weeks off or something, but we don't have the time for him to take it off, you know, so he just got to lumber through it, you know, so I'll give him a little credit for that, you know what I'm saying, as far as playing through injuries and stuff like that. Because like I said, if he's fully healthy, then you know what I'm saying, maybe it'll be a little different story. We'll see.
All right. We shall see. All right. Let's spend a little time on Bridges before we move to Jose Alvarado. So how do I want to put this?
He that frustrated, Steph? You can't even get the question. That's my problem with him too. Yes.
You read Jerrell's mind.
I know Queen was pissed last night.
I was talking to AJ about this. The Knicks have to decide who their core is. With this second apron, you're just not going to be able to sign, and you can't have a 10-team core. Like you got to find out who your core is. Who are those players that you feel like they are playing up to their ability, right? So we had talked a few weeks ago about going into the second apron. And for me, I want the Knicks to keep as much versatility as they can because we don't know this team. We haven't seen them go through the playoffs, what have you. Like, try to stay under the second apron as much as you can. Mitchell Robinson is looking healthy. He's looking good. Shamet is looking good. Diawara is young, but he looks like somebody down the line that can help the Knicks. He's helping the Knicks now, but I mean, like, be a consistent part of the rotation. Down the line. I'm not willing to go into the second apron right now for this particular team, but the Knicks can make some moves now, where if they identify their core, they can stay flexible, right? And I'm thinking that if you want to sign Mitch, I'm not for going into the second apron for it. I'm not for going to the second apron for this particular team, period. You got McBride, you got Shamet. Maybe the key is getting off of Bridges and finding somebody cheaper that can do what he does. And that gives you the space now to sign a Mitch, to sign a Shamet, to sign a Diawara. And the thing about it is, even if Mitch does get injured, you're not over the second apron. So there's still some things that you can do potentially to help yourself. Whereas once you lock yourself in, if there's injuries, that you just figure it out, right? So I'm at that point. Who can we get that's cheaper than Bridges? And that will allow us to keep those other players who, at least now, I got to see Mitch in the playoffs. I know Mitch in the playoffs. I'm not worried about Mitch. I got to see Shamet in the playoffs. I got to see some of these other cats in the playoffs. No pun intended. But once we see that, then the Knicks, and if Bridges is not a playoff riser, I think that the Knicks should be looking to get off of his contract and find somebody cheaper that can play defense and hit a shot. Just saying.
I could tell you, the dude from Phoenix, Goodwin, he can give you what Bridges gives you, and he plays with more energy, and he'd be much cheaper. And I always said that we don't need 4 contracts. We need 3 big contracts, because the 4 contracts really puts us up against the apron. So it's almost like I said back in the day with the Heat, the big 3. After they signed those guys, they was capped out. They couldn't do nothing. That's what the 4 contracts is doing for us. So if you can get off a Bridges contract, I'm all for it. And like I said, a player like Goodwin, or let me see another player. Herb Jones costs a little bit more, but Goodwin players like that can help. Because like I said, you look at the NBA,
Herb Jones is making less than Bridges, though, isn't he? Or
I think he has
signed an extension.
He won't be. I mean, Bridges is going to be making 39 next year, so I'm pretty sure Herb is cheaper than that.
Yeah, because Goodwin is a guard, no?
Yeah, I mean he's like 6'5" or something. Like you seen the problems he gave us against Phoenix.
Yeah. But I'm thinking of somebody like 6'7", 6'8". More like a forward. But I get your point though. Somebody who's not making a lot of money, who you're getting value.
High energy players.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks. He's a dog. Everybody know he's a dog on defense, man, and he can play against stronger players because he's 6'6", 6'7" himself. So
Sadiq Bey.
Yeah.
Again, if you got the other big 3 and they're playing up to their potential, at that point you just need strong role players. Well,
I think it's due anyway, because there's no way the math just doesn't math if we're talking about all these other players, but Josh Hart is up for an extension. So therefore, I think it was inevitable that Mikal has to be moved. You just can't fit all those salaries. I don't think that they'll move Hart. I just think that they'll do it. I think he's too intangible, and I don't think Mikal is in that same boat. So I don't know. If it was up to me, I'm moving Mikal before I move Hart.
Oh. Okay. Anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, I almost don't want to go, Steph. The amount of pissed off that I was when Mikal Bridges finally had a good game out of the blue. and they asked him what happened, and he said that he was being uncoachable and his ego was getting in the way. I was so mad. Like, what the hell does that mean coming from somebody like him? Like,
I didn't get it either. Somebody explained it on the panel, but I didn't.
It really did not make any sense. How did ego from who? From you? Like that? Like, since when have you been that guy? Like, I've been watching him play basketball for a while, man. And last year he spoke out against Tibbs and the rotation and playing bench players or something like that. He never did that before. Tibbs is out of here. Now you complaining again about the coach and you being uncoachable and stuff. When he got here, I said he was my X factor. I'm completely flipped on Mikal Bridges. Like, I like to seem a little mentally weak for me. A professional athlete. I don't usually like stuff like that. I like, that's a huge turnoff for me because it's not about being soft on the court. That's not a toughness, softness type thing when it comes to playing basketball. Just his mental makeup is a little weird for me. And I did not think that he was that type of player. Like, he hasn't shown that. Because I've been watching him ever since he was in college. He didn't seem like that type of player at all. For him to say something like that after a good game, and a good game that after you've been struggling pretty much all season. So yeah, I'm completely flipped on Mikal Bridges, man. I wish we did trade him, but I think he's going to go in the summer.
But you know what? When he said that, I said, okay. All right, he about to flip the switch now.
Did
all
you?
Right? He said that, and he went right back to being regular. Wonderful. It's like,
he said, "Got him, got him."
He said it. I didn't think he made sense. I almost thought he was talking about somebody. Like, are you talking about like Cat or somebody? Like, I could see Cat having an ego and him having a problem with the system because, like you said, it might not be conducive to big guys, and it's different when it comes to Mike Brown. Why is Mikal Bridges having an ego problem and uncoachable in this offense? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think he thought when Brown was coming in that other things, that the system or other things were going to run probably quite differently. And maybe he hasn't seen enough of a change in that to, what's the name? I think he still sees probably that, even though that's his boy, Brunson, he probably still sees that the control that Brunson has, on the game. And I think he thought maybe that it was going to be heavily shared more or whatever it may be. But to be honestly, as Queen would always say, she got an issue with him because he can't even get the ball up the floor at times, where he struggles. Yeah, where he struggles. And it's truly because he lacks the physicality. Like, just take, for instance, last night, other players, where you have a poor shooting night, he may have had what's name on defense, but that ain't all what we pay him for. And that ain't all what we expect from him. We expect you at certain times, hey, if your shot is off, what do? You do what OG did. You go down there and you go into the paint and you aggressively attack the basket. When's the last time we've seen him aggressively attack the basket?
Well, he did have 5 foul shots a game or two ago.
About this year.
Yeah. I think the thing that pisses me off about it is his rebounding. He just doesn't rebound. I don't understand for a guy his size. He's pushing people out the way. You put more effort pushing people out the way. Go get the damn rebound. I don't get it. You're 6'7". You should be having like 8-9 rebounds every single game easily.
OG don't even get that.
Hold on.
No, they both, and that's another thing. They both supposed to be getting that because all these misses that we get, they should be getting rebounds. But they watch it. They watch the ball.
I will say this about Bridges. I'm not going to really get on him for being what he's never been. Like, he's never been somebody that went to the line. He's never been a good rebounder. And I'm not sure they brought him here to get to the line or to be a good rebounder. However, I'm pretty sure when they brought him here, they thought he would be a good defender and that he would be a consistent shot maker for this team. And he has not been that. And I think this is who he is. Like, his personality is such that I'm going to get what I get within the flow of the offense. It comes to me. It comes to me. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's it. And that's fine. We just need to pay less for that.
That's fine.
We just need to pay less for that. Like we can get that from pick somebody. You know?
Well, you're getting that
That's
from
all I'm
Shamit.
saying.
You're getting that from Shamit right now. And Shamit's a better shooter, you know what I'm saying? He plays harder on defense. He plays harder than Mikal Bridges. That's what I'm saying. It's right there. He's the players right on his team.
Did I not say that earlier show? Did I not say the same, basically the same thing? Shamit, because if the value point, it's crazy off. You know, that's the part. It ain't even a 6-7. It's way off. It's a 20-1. It's way off. So for that value, what he's getting paid, But I blamed last night on Brown. I don't blame Mikal.
But you think he should have benched him? Because I think he should have benched him.
That part right there.
Absolutely.
Come sit over here. Come sit over here with me. Come sit over here. Slide right here with me. Right here. Right down that bench.
Yeah, because I kept saying in overtime, get him out the game. What are you still doing in the game in overtime? Get him out.
What were the other options, though?
Well, Shamit's on the court. You can put Diawara in game. I don't care. Bring Diawara in the game. He can do better. I mean, he's a high wire player. He's an active player. Bring him in the game. Mikal wasn't doing nothing, and he'd have got rebound. I mean,
both
there's something to be said for though. In a tight game like that, there's not giving what you should, and then there's taking away. And I'm not saying Diawara would have took away, but I just think in those tight games like that, you know, part of his growth process, he may not have been as steady. He might have been. He might not have been. And maybe Mike Brown just didn't want to take that risk. Because you notice in these really tight games, he doesn't really play the young guys down the, down the stretch. But that foul at the end, and we had to win that game again. And I know some people feel like it wasn't a foul. In my opinion,
no, it was foul.
That was a takedown tackle.
Hold on, he did two. He pushed Brown first, and then he went to what's his name and did it. I was like, what is going on with this guy?
At least we got some.
I just wanted to box him out. But
that's the first thing he did all season.
How about turn around and look at to go get the ball? If you box him out, turn around and look towards the rim.
The ball was still in the air.
I honestly did not have a problem with that though. It was the first tough thing he did all season. They call it foul. I don't mind fouls.
Cause this double overtime? I don't know. I mind that.
I guess I don't consider that like, you know, the dumb fouls, quote unquote dumb fouls that we talk about Cat get all the time. To me, that wasn't a dumb foul. I think it could have gone. I think it could have gone either way, and I've seen that happen multiple times at the end of the game, and they don't call it. I'm not saying it wasn't a foul.
Yeah, like the last seconds, right?
I've seen where they don't call it.
Yeah, it's not like a dumb, egregious foul that came out of nowhere. Like at least he was fouling, and something bad happened. Him trying to make a play. That's different than poking a guy in the eye for no reason at the end of the damn game. Like it's just a little different for me. So much as I crapped on him for all the stuff that I said earlier, I don't, he had a bad game, but I don't completely.
Hey, David Smith got a question. David Smith, that was Spencer Jones that did that, I think. With the dirty play to get Cat the stitches. They butted heads.
Oh yeah,
Jones left the game and didn't come back.
Yeah,
concussion.
That was dirty.
Yeah, concussion.
So old head for the win. Appreciate you rocking with us. He said, "How many games has Mikal won with his defense, steals, and blocks? And we hold that one foul against him from last night." I mean, for me, it's not about the one foul. It's just about what his play has been since he's been a New York Knick. And yeah, he's definitely had bright moments and he's had stellar plays. He had 2 in Boston to help seal the deal in the playoffs last year. But to me, his overall tenure in New York, in my opinion, has been underwhelming. And that's what we're talking about. We're not just talking about the foul last night. At least that's not all I'm talking about. I just feel like
I'm gonna watch that game tomorrow against Detroit, a physical team. Let me see Bridges play against them because he don't have good games against Detroit. So I'm watching the physical games when they get physical with him. I want to see him really play his game. Let's see.
Yeah. Keith Turner, it's not the one foul. Yeah, and maybe he will turn it up in the playoffs. Hopefully. Shout out to Paris Duggar. Appreciate the super chat. Always rocking with us, supporting the channel. Bridges is the least of our problems. Bridges isn't an offensive player who still takes and hits huge shots. Bridges is a huge reason why our D is number one. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so at all. Not huge. Not even. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
he plays his part. He plays his part. Don't get me wrong, but no.
But I mean, good.
He is an offensive player. They brought him here to be an offensive player. They didn't bring him here just to play defense. They brought OG here to play defense, and he's out playing him on the offensive end, in my opinion. Sorry, Escar, go ahead.
No, good. No, what I was saying with the thing with Bridges, a lot of these shots are wide open. It's not like he can create his own shots. That's what I'm saying. I don't even get when these shots are wide open. Either you're gonna make it or you're not gonna make it. These are easy shots. It's not like he's a playmaker and go and make plays for himself. So I mean, hey, somebody else work to get your open shot, make the shot. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. We appreciate the super chat. Geoff, anything? You've been pretty quiet. Anything you want to say about all of what we've talked about so far?
I just don't have as big a problem with Mikal Bridges as you guys do. Like I respect y'all's opinion, and maybe I do need to have a bigger problem with Mikal Bridges. I hear y'all say it, but I just don't have a problem with Mikal. His 3-point shooting has been better this year. His mid-range game is still solid. I mean, is he inconsistent on the offensive end? Maybe. He runs more than everybody on this team. He's super active. He plays every game, and he probably is close to our minutes leader, if nothing else. And and that's for a team that has has 33 wins. I mean, he's a consistent starter. I mean, what's he averaging? 15.7 points a game, something like that. Like, how many is he supposed to be? A third 20-point scorer? What? Like, so what is the ideal with him? What is it? What is the number that makes him okay?
I don't think it's the number.
Yeah, it's not.
If you're watching him game in and game out, it's about hitting timely shots.
He hit a huge three in the win against Denver. He hits big timely shots all the time.
But he sent us into the overtime. But we could have won the game. He sent us into the overtime
all the time.
He hits him a lot.
He has hit some, I would say, and he should have hit that shot, because we wouldn't have been over overtime if he didn't think that we were playing the Detroit Lions. We wouldn't have even had to. We wouldn't have even been in.
I'm not saying he's not inconsistent, but are you telling me that OG Anunoby has been consistent this year? Are you telling me we're getting consistent performance from Towns this year? Are we getting consistent performance from Brunson this year? I don't think we've had any consistency from any of our starters. I think we're holding Bridges to a different standard here.
Bridges, in my opinion, these guys may have been inconsistent. Bridges, to me, is just non-existent, in my opinion. Like, I mean, listen, he's averaging 15 points, but the impact game in and game out, I just don't see it. I think
he's just a low motor player. His energy level is low, and he could play much faster than he's playing, because you can see it on some fast breaks how he really hustles to get it. He could be doing it all the time. He could be Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin is to get up and down the court, and Bridges could do the same thing. He's paperweight, but he just jogs up and down the court. That's what he is. He's just nonchalant.
I think Bridges is a good player. My real issue more than anything is, besides the physicality, he's not elite at anything. And when you're not elite at anything, but you command elite money, there lies the problem. You know what I mean?
He's not making elite money, Nick Nation.
He's going to be making $40 million next year.
And he won't be making it next year. Elite money is about $20 million a year more than what Bridges is going to be making.
Well, that's still a lot. $40 million now, $39 million is still a lot.
39. You don't think 39? You don't think 20 million's a lot?
It's a lot, but I agree with Geoff. Like, I think we think about how NBA used to be. He does not make a lot of money for what he does.
Shaman's making $2 million.
Well, Shaman also didn't almost make the team in the beginning of the year. Like we didn't know.
His next contract might be bigger, but he was a $2 million player when he came in.
Yeah, nobody even thought he was going to be on the roster when this season started.
Right.
So it's almost like that's like, I don't want to say he's a flash in the pan, but nobody expected him to play as well as he's playing now. I expected Mikal Bridges to play a lot better than he did, but it's not about salary for me though. Because there's a lot of people in the league that's making a lot of money that don't do what he do. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. He does not make that much money for me to complain about his salary. I'm more complaining about the stuff that he should be doing consistent on the court. Forget the salary part for me.
But can we get somebody who does what he does at a cheaper price point?
A little cheaper, yes.
Absolutely, we can.
Yeah, but he's not making like astronomical money when you look at everybody else.
So let me ask you this: if Mikal Bridges is out for an extended period of time, will we miss a beat? I mean, would it be anything compared to like if Mitch is out for a long time or Brunson is out? No, that's like Bridges is not a player that makes an impact. Like I said, I mean he's okay.
But he's not ever have to find out because he plays every single game.
I know that's what he plays every single game.
But we've also played without Mitch.
Number one ability is availability, my friend.
Mitch played 17 games last year, and the Knicks had won 50 something games. So listen, just because you can play without a player doesn't mean you don't need. Like we've won 8 in a row without Deuce. We could still use him though, So I just feel like watching him, it's averaging out to look good on paper, but watching him game in and game out.
Yeah,
even that average, man. I got to pull out my calculator and calculate myself.
No, I'm gonna say this.
I do not know how you average 15, but I don't see it, man.
For me, I think it's just for me. I've seen him play better.
Well, he's shooting 39% from 3 and he's shooting 59% from 2. Like, what are we talking about here? I really don't get it. Like, okay, he doesn't get the volume he does.
One game, he's hitting 7 for 8 and 7 for 9, and then the next game he's getting 2 points, and he's 1 for 6. We can better use that salary, in my opinion, for someone else. That's all I'm saying.
How many points did he score against Denver? Though he did hit a big shot, though. But what did he score? Jerrell, do you know?
No, 5. They didn't have
something like that. It
5 points.
It was single digits. Yeah.
It was something like that. Yeah.
2 points until the third. I mean, listen, that's just one game. I'm not talking about one game.
Yeah, me either.
To me, I just don't. I don't see it. I get the stats, Jeff. He's very efficient when he does take a shot. He's very efficient. I get it.
It had nothing to do with the shots last night. It had to do with everything else. Because if you're not successful at shooting and you're getting, like I said, I'll keep counting on that much of our salary cap. And if you guys don't think that that's a lot, it is a lot. And secondly is then you do the other things, assists, rebounds, things like that. But the number of attempts that he had, then as opposed to the rebounds and assists and the amount of minutes that he played, it looks abysmal at that. At best, abysmal. He may have like you say, Jeff, shoot this and shoot that and shoot that. But those are the key factors that he also needs to do as well, particularly when you're having an off shooting night. And he did none of that. That to me is disturbing.
Is it possible that something is going on with him too?
He had 4 assists, a steal, and a block with no turnovers. So I don't buy that either.
Well, you got to do something with the ball.
I'm sorry, I don't buy that. He had 4 assists, a steal, a block, and 0 turnovers in the Denver game. So that's what you're supposed to be doing in ancillary stats, is it not?
No,
but like the numbers don't back up your point.
No stats.
Queen, maybe I don't think there's anything going on with him. I think maybe it's the system. And shout out to Kevin Bergen, who says at this point he is who he is. I don't think so, because his entire career he hasn't been what he's given us. He's been a much better player throughout his career. I mean, he was off the chains in Brooklyn, man, when he was playing for Brooklyn. But I mean, his play, his production, and has considerably dropped from when he was with the Nets than what he is now. He's a much better player than what he's been. So maybe it just doesn't work out for him. Or
I mean, his
I don't
usage
know.
is down too, right? I mean, the way
Mhm.
Bridges played at the beginning of the season, and a lot of these averages is probably based on that too. When he was playing stellar, that's the Bridges I want to see. He was much more active. He was much more aggressive. He was, bringing the ball down, setting up the offense, taking his shot. He was, ancillary stats galore. I don't know. When I see Bridges now, he just looked like he's strolling in the park.
Yeah, I'm looking up his salary. I think he's going to get paid more in the future, but right now he only get paid $25 million. That's ranked 79th player in the NBA. Next year is like 33. Year after that is 36. There are a lot of players that make more money than him.
And that's a problem in the NBA with the salary cap, man, for the TV deals.
It's different now.
You got role players making all this type of money. That's why this kind of salary cap is like through the roof for these teams.
Yeah, and that's me saying that much as I actually do want to crap on Bridges, yeah, it's not a money thing for me.
Right.
Looking at these salaries, there are role players that's not even getting any burn at all, making like a lot more money than him.
Yeah.
He played 48 minutes. He had 5 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. 48 minutes.
I mean, that wasn't his best game. So listen, players are allowed to have bad games, right? That wasn't his best game. I will give you that.
Yeah, I can't go by last game.
But
You know,
for me,
that's almost unfair for me to just go by last game, much as I am
yeah.
just
Yeah.
disapproval of him. Can't just go by last game.
Aristotle, I'm listening to people who don't understand what Bridges does to teams who have scoring wings. Well, let us know since you know so much. What is Bridges doing
He's shutting them down.
to have scoring wings?
He's shutting them down.
I mean, he's saying we don't understand. So help us understand in the chat, or if you want the link so that you can come up here and let us know what he's doing to teams who have scoring wings. I mean, I'm not saying he's playing, he's playing okay. We had to move OG onto Murray last night.
Yo, speaking of salary stuff, I just looked up OG's salary. I forgot he made that. Compared to Bridges, he's making like $15 million more than Bridges right now.
Yep. Shout out to Lee from
Bridges is playing fewer minutes per game, and his assists, his steals, his blocks, and his rebounds are all up from last year.
From 1 to 2.
Points.
I didn't look
That's
up.
points.
Jeff, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I don't want you to think. I hear you, Jeff. Like you're fine with how he's playing. He's being very efficient, and you believe he's making the most of his time on the court.
Listen, like I said, I'm just gonna wait till the playoff. That's all I'm waiting for, the playoffs. When we play teams that pressure us, that's all I'm saying. When they pressure these ball handlers, like I said, these guys cough up the ball. And that's a problem. That's what I'm saying. But we'll see. We'll see when the playoff comes. We'll see when this team gets like. We'll see. We'll have our answers.
Yeah, honestly, as much as I, just like as God said, much as I have a disapproval of Bridges right now, I'm really waiting for the playoffs. Like, this is just the regular season. Even if he has a lackluster regular season by even my standards, I'm really ready for the playoffs. That's what I would really judge him in. All these players, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can go back and forth with our displeasure about the play. When the playoffs start, I'm not arguing with nobody. I'm gonna just say, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's true.
Lee Escobedo, Nick of Time, appreciate you. Plays with Mikal Bridges' stats and splits are usually paid between 20 and 15 million per year. His extension makes him overpaid.
His extension, yeah, that didn't come up yet. His extension, yeah, that's when he's going to start getting paid in the 30s. He's right.
Yeah. Yeah, but like we said with this TV deal and these salary cap going up, guys gonna be making $80 million of stars and stuff. It's gonna get crazy, man. Role players on 45. It's gonna get crazy. So,
but there's another way to
what's
look
happening.
at that too, Scott. And let me just play devil's advocate for a minute.
We got some encouragement, Jeff. We got some encouragement.
Look, I'm wrong all the time, and I could honestly be wrong. But I just don't understand. The guy is probably having one of the, he's averaging 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal and a half a game. Like, to me, he's having a pretty good season, and his offense is down from a year ago, but so are his minutes and so are his shots, and his field goal percentage is actually up. So, but the other thing,
shots down. Why is his shots down, you think?
I don't know. Why are Cat's shots down? Why are OG's shots down? Why are, a lot of people's shots are down.
I think he had plenty of opportunity to take shots. I think he just passes them up.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not disputing that at all. I think that's probably sometimes the easiest explanation, the most logical one is the right one. So I'm not even going to dispute that at one bit. But the other thing I'll say is the closer you get to the salary cap, the more you need salaries to match if you want to make a trade. And so if all you have is $4 million, you can't bring back another a player of significant caliber and talent. If you have a guy who's making $32 million, just for an example, that means you can bring back a $32 million player. So especially if you're under the second apron and you can aggregate salaries, then that 32 million becomes an even more important number. So a lot of these things have to do with flexibility and ability to make moves. In other words, you can't, if all you have is $5 million contracts, you have to trade 10 players to get to a $50 million deal, right? And you can't do that in the modern NBA because they have to replace your whole roster. And so, and personally, I don't think he's being overpaid. You can make the argument absolutely that with his extension he's overpaid, but even then I think that that's up for debate given the different areas that he helps the team, and he's. My problem with him is a problem that's not even his fault. My problem is I thought we paid too much for him because he's not an all-star, and we paid an all-star price for him. But he's never been an all-star. I think
double down with the extension, in my opinion. But go ahead.
Okay, I'm not gonna, and when he's paid that, and that's something we'll have to a bridge we may have to come to. But what if, I'm just throwing this out here, what if his 32 plus OG's salary goes out in a Giannis trade, for example, and then you bring back Giannis, and then you have another $20 million player to help fill the 3-and-D wing role, and there you go, and you can't tell me that that's possibly not in the thought process of Leon Rose and Brock Aller when they've done all this other stuff. So yes, the way that it looks now, I absolutely 100% get where you're coming from, but I think that there are a lot of moving parts that go with this, and I think that you have to take a look at all of them and not just focus on his scoring is down. Well, okay, yeah, it is, but
it's not just his scoring. It's Jeff. We watch him game in and game out. I'm not even looking at the stat. I don't even know what he averaged.
I don't know the stats.
I don't know what he averages. I'm just looking at him game to game, and I'm saying to myself, "What a wonderful." No, stop.
What an unwonderful world! The bridges, London Bridges is falling down.
Jeff, you might be totally right. And I'm going to, I don't know if I can pay any more attention because Ajay is always texting me, are you paying attention to Bridges? I don't know if I can pay any more attention to him, but I'm keying on Bridges throughout the game. I mean, all right. Okay. All right.
I'm just saying he has no pressure on him. The pressure's on Cat and Brunson. That's why the other guys got to step up and just do it. It's like you have no pressure on you. You just got to play loose. Just do what you got to do. The pressure's on Towns and Brunson. They the two to get the most pressure. Everybody else gets skated on, gets skated by, man. That's all people are asking for. Put more effort in. That's all. That's it.
That's why I didn't really get the whole ego thing. What he said.
Me either. I was like, what?
I'm like, you're the third option on this team. Is that some people think you're the fourth because of OG? It all depends.
He is the fourth. He's the fourth option at this point.
Well, even if you say if you argue the third people shouldn't be having no egos like that either. And it's not like he shoot that much anyway. So it's almost like, did they tell him to shoot less? Like that didn't really make any sense to me. So I didn't really get that.
I think one of the things with Bridges, and speaking of option, Jerrell, is he's a third or fourth depending on the night, right?
Right.
But then as one of those options, we expect when one of the other guys is having a bad game for you to fill in the slot, right? For you to step your game up and be a better option. He doesn't do that. Like he's still not there. Brunson's having a bad game. He's not there. He doesn't fill in anybody's shoes. Like when he doesn't slide into anybody's spot.
And he has that ability, in my opinion. Shout out to
he definitely can.
I think that's it for me.
That's what fun. That's it. I think all of us.
He could take over if he wanted to.
Yeah.
It seems like, and he does it.
He's done it his entire career. He's done it in Phoenix. Yeah. He's done it in Brooklyn. He's just not doing it here.
The sequence of events is he shouldn't be here. I'm sorry.
Let me just shout him out real quick. I appreciate you. The Nick of Time Show loves Dope Soul Sports, and we love the Nick of Time Show.
Exactly. That's my boy Lee right there. Lee, good peoples. But honestly, the sequence of events, he shouldn't really even be here in that sense because no. I'm just saying no, because we think back. Remember, we took Bridges because in the point where we thought that we were putting the four together along with Randall, and then we pivoted, and then that's why we're still in this what's name. So I really can't blame him. You got to somewhat blame Leon because once they pivoted like this, then it was a retrofit to keep him as far as in the team. But as far as money wise, that threw it totally out of whack. When we look
Geoff,
at it back,
I'm interested in your opinion on this. Do you have an expectation that when someone is out, Bridges steps up, or are you okay with? Do you feel like he's playing his role? Like this is his role, is to just be a utility type, to be a utility type player, and that we shouldn't have the expectation that when someone goes down, he's going to step up. Like his role is more,
I mean, I always want him to step up when other players. I mean, I want everybody to step up. When players are out, that's what team is. I mean, and I think he's done that some. He had a 30-point game against Toronto, which was a big win for us just this week. I mean, so it's not like it's not like he never has a big game or never comes in through in the clutch and never shows up for us either. So I mean. Look, he's not an all-star player. So and honestly, in my opinion, the stats that he's giving right now and the percentages that he's at is just below our all-star level player. He's not an all-star, but he's maybe the next tier below that. And that's who he is. So I'm not going to get after a guy for being who he is. Like and maybe our expectations were more because, yes, we overpaid to get him. Like, I'll be the first one to say that. 100% not worth 5 draft picks. Should never have made that trade, in my opinion. But they thought he was a finishing piece. And then I think when they made the Cat trade, that changed the calculus a little bit of the entire team. And so he went from being a finishing piece to I don't know what he is. Right. And I'm still not sure I know what he is, but I do know that we don't win the Boston series last year without him. So to me, that means that he's shown that he can be a playoff riser and do some things. I think, I think he's probably ideally more suited to a three spot than the 2 spot. And I think we play him in the 2 quite a bit. And when we play him at the 3, I think we get better results. I think there's a lot of overlap between he and OG Anunoby in terms of skill set and the things that they like to do and the places that they like to go on the court too. And I don't think that helps either one of those players. So If you wanted to move off of one of them, I think it might actually it might actually be better for the team as a whole. Because I do think that there's a lot of player overlap between the two, and neither one of them is an extremely strong rebounder. I think OG's the better defender. I think that McCall is the more efficient scorer. And so you have give and take with both players. But, to me, we're getting from Bridges exactly what I expect from Bridges. And so, when guys go down, do I want him to do a little bit more? Absolutely. But I guess I'm not upset with Bridges because he's meeting my expectations. Like, this is he is who I thought he was. And I think he's doing a good job in the role that he's given. And I think we get disappointed in his defense because he's not a good point of attack defender, but I don't think he ever has been. I think when he's at his best defensively, and that's one of the reasons I know we haven't gotten to Jose Alvarado yet, but one of the reasons I'm curious about him is because you could play Alvarado and Brunson and OG and Bridges together and have Bridges at the 3. And I think with that length and with that ability to get in the passing lanes, I think you can create a defense that is really tough and that can play really up tempo. And so I just don't have a problem with McCall. That's my whole thing. I think we're getting out of Bridges what I expect out of Bridges, and so I'm not gonna get on him because he's not better than what he's always been. And I think he's actually I think he's having one of his better seasons.
Jeff, do you think this is the best of Bridges, what we're getting right now? Like, you think he's playing near his ceiling?
Within our team concept, the way things are, pretty much, yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this. I was disappointed in that 4-game West Coast trip when Brunson got hurt. And none of the other 3 players stepped up. Towns, Bridges, and Anunoby. That was your perfect opportunity to show that you can lead a team, and none of them guys step up. So Brunson is out. Do you really think the Knicks will get anywhere further without Brunson? Because I don't think those guys. And I know Brunson runs. He's a point guard, but I'm just saying. But I didn't see those guys have like a really game. I didn't say out of this world, but it's like, come on, Those are the 3. Those are other than Brunson, those are the 3. Somebody had to step up, do something. But it's like, we got blown out some of them games. Guys didn't even show up.
All right, we got some more super chats. There was a game recently where something happened with Brunson, and I thought OG stepped up in that particular game. If I'm not mistaken,
The game he left out. Well, I know Sacramento, Portland, Phoenix, couple of them. I was out west.
All right. Okay. Brother BKL Sport Entertainment Show. Appreciate you rocking with us. Thank you for the super chat. Knickerbocker stand up. GTA is back to home, and I'm feeling pumped on it. Not just 8 winning streak, but we found Grand Theft Alvarado for Deuce. Yeah, Deuce is out with hernia surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we about to get to Alvarado. Paris Duggar, are we blaming Leon, etc.? Are we blaming Leon? Because if so, I want to thank him. Okay. And brother BKL Sport Entertainment again, appreciate the super chat. For the love of Knicks Nation, we salute to you. Also, shout out to the Queen of Dope Soul Sports and my pals, Knicks for life. Yeah, definitely appreciate you rocking with us. Appreciate everybody in the chat, the replay gang, the silent listeners. I appreciate you all. Okay, this was a really good conversation on on Bridges, and Bridges would be happy to know, Jeff, that you holding him down tonight. You holding him down.
Look, if he starts to shoot the ball poorly on a consistent basis and other things, then I'll call that out too. But I think he's having a good season from a statistical point of view, from an efficiency point of view. And I think the on-off numbers are pretty good when he's on the court for us. So and we're 33-18. I think he's a big reason we are.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it at that. All All right. Anybody else on the Knicks team we want to talk about? Let me just ask this quick question about OG. I did a show with Knick Nation earlier in the week, or was it Sunday? Not sure when it was. And he felt that what we're seeing from OG is really who he is and who he's been all season. And that dip that we saw was because he was injured and it was taking him some time to ramp back up. I seem to feel that OG goes on these streaks, and then he's not so streaky, you know. And I've kind of had to back off of him, you know, turning the corner. Like I felt like, wow, he's turned the corner. He's crossed over. He is an official two-way player right now, and he does have those stretches. But I guess my question is to the rest of you is: do you believe that what we're seeing from OG on both sides of the ball is who he is, and this is what we can expect from him? Or do you feel like he's going through having a good stretch? Escar, we'll start with you.
OG, I mean, like I said, I agree. I think this is who he is as a player. Like I said, I know he was brought in here for defense mainly. You know, offense is another, you know, that's icing on the cake. You know, I'm good with OG shooting like 3-pointers from the corner and stuff like that. And as far as his driving, yeah, I think he can finish a little bit better, driving to the basket and things like that. I know he gets fouled. So he gets to the free throw line. That's another good thing. He gets to the free throw line. So, you know, that's a big plus. You know, only other thing, I wish the rebounding would be much better. And there's some games he has some 8 rebounds on it. I was like, more of that. That's all I want, more of that. You know, like I said, and like I said, when he wants to play defense, he locks in. He can play that defense, and like I said, for his size and things like that, he can match up against guys. He can switch, you know, guard and B sometimes, you know, things like that. So that's always a good plus, you know. So, but yeah, I just want, you know, more effort on the rebound and then just a little bit more. And as far as like being a little bit more consistent, because I do agree that sometimes he could be like Bridges. He just disappears in some games, man. I'm just like, where's this guy at? He needs to go off and stuff like that. So. Yeah, but I'm okay with him.
Okay. Ajay?
For OG?
Is this who he is? A two-way player, or is he going through a good stretch right now?
A little bit of both. I think it's
always trying to split the baby.
No, but because
no waffling here. It's no waffling.
It's a stretch, or this is who he is. How can it be a little bit?
No, he's been, what he's doing now. He's always been doing that, but he's on a good stretch because the shots are falling. He's always taking the shots. He's always been a defensive player. He's always done that. I think it's both. I mean, I can't see it any other way. Okay. But with OG Anunoby though, like he's definitely on a good stretch. He's definitely having a good few games, and you hope this continues. The good thing about him is when he's not scoring the ball, he finds ways to do other things to help the team to get the team in a better place. He does it, and I really love that about him. He doesn't just it's rare that you see a game and you ask yourself, did OG play tonight? You know, because you always feel him one way or another, you know, during the game, right? So I just think he's, you know, he's always known to be a good, a decent 3-point shooter and a very good corner 3-point shooter. But he's driving a little more now, which I don't love those drives, man. But they're efficient because he goes in, he ducks the ball. But those slips and the falls, it's not that it's because he could get injured doing those. Because his falls are weird. Like he falls weird.
Yeah.
Like he falls like some loaded shoe. I don't know. Like it's just strange, man. I'm like, oh, no. And then
on the fast break,
it's like okay. But he's on a good stretch, and this is who he is, Queen.
All right. Jerrell.
I'm sorry. What's the question again, Steph?
And what we saw at the beginning of the season as well. Do you feel like he's crossed over and he is a two-way player and this is what we can expect of him, or do you feel like he's just on a good stretch right now?
I think the fact that we keep asking this question every 3 weeks already gives you the answer for me. Yeah, he's just inconsistent. Like he's on a good stretch. I'm happy when he's on a good stretch, but like AJ said, I think we all know that he disappears sometimes. But yeah, we ask this question all the time for that specific reason. Like he's just inconsistent. He's always been like that. But hopefully, is it a good stretch? Yes. Will he stay on this good stretch for a very long time? Hopefully. And if he turn a corner, like we wouldn't know that until, we wouldn't know that. Because inconsistent players, like, when do you call them consistent? Like, unless he does not disappear ever again, I think somebody will always have, which is impossible. Somebody will always have that question in their head because sometimes he does disappear on the offensive end. But yeah, but for him to be like a two-way player, obviously I don't have a problem with his defense, but on the offensive end, yeah, he's inconsistent still for me.
Yeah.
Until he proves me wrong.
Geoff?
I think that with OG, I think I'm actually impressed with what he's doing. I love his aggressiveness. And I think that what I would say about him is this. I still think he's kind of a bit of a roller coaster, but I think that the trend has been up. Right. I think that if you track the trend line, it's kind of like with stocks, like how's it done over a 5-year period, whatever. I think the trend line this whole season compared to, some of the stuff that he's done in the past, in my opinion, is up. I love his aggressiveness. I love that he's getting to the free throw line. I love his corner 3-point shooting is excellent. He's not being bashful about it. He's taking the ball, taking the offense into his own hands, especially in the open court more. And so to me, I'm really encouraged by what he's doing. And I don't think he's ever gonna be a star offensive player, but I think he's a better offensive player than he was for us a year ago.
Yeah,
and that's an important improvement in my opinion.
Yeah. Nick Nation, did you want to add to?
Well, the only thing I think is since we actually traded for him, and if you look at OG's game offensively from when we traded for him, he's grown leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
He could not put the ball on the floor at all at one point. He could not drive the speed. And then also look at, he was efficient when he first came. Remember how he would hit those threes. But those threes came at a very slow down rate. If you look at him now and when he touches that ball, that three is popping quickly. So to me, that maturation that he's done, along with his defense not completely falling off and creating that balance, I think he's really done more than what we expected. And I believe also what, I'm going to say the Knicks organization, because I don't think they expected him to really move that high offensively. And he has done it. He perpetrated that for himself, the reason why he left and wanted to leave, because they wouldn't give him that offensive role. And now that he's gotten that offensive role here, I think he's taking advantage of it. That's just how I see it. So
I was on this train early and everybody laughed at me. So I'm gonna just watch it for a little while longer. But I absolutely love the way he's playing. And he's giving it to you every which way, in the post, turnaround jumper, the corner threes, facing his guy up, then taking him off the dribble. I'm like, okay. He do need to tighten up that little handle. I don't know if he's going to get away with that in the playoffs, but he's been phenomenal during this stretch. So if he becomes a consistent two-way player, if this is and if he wants to have a 20-game stretch and take 5 games off, I'm okay with that too. And then come back and do another 20-game stretch.
Just 2 games off, not 5 games off. Let's just maybe
I'm
1
okay
game off,
with
not
that,
5. 5 is a big.
Yeah.
5 games is crazy.
Yeah, OG has been, and it's his assertiveness, and maybe that's what's making me look at Bridges a little different because I'm not seeing that same level of assertiveness because OG is like he playing bully ball. Sometimes he looking like Randall out there. He going right through you, you know. Anyway, let's get to Alvarado. The Knicks, to Jeff's point, and I agree, probably did not want to do anything major, even if there was something out there major to do, because they want to keep their whatever assets they have left for the offseason if Giannis becomes available. I do agree that was part of their thought process. So they did a trade around the edges with Alvarado. Ian Begley and others have talked about that the Knicks have had their eye on him, and some of us can say why, and we'll talk about that as well. But he's definitely someone that has been associated with the Knicks close to a year now, maybe. Close to a year, I want to say. And so, Alvarado, can somebody, Jeff, do you have his stats?
Yeah, actually, I do. Give me a second. I have it right here.
Okay.
He
like 8
is
points.
this year. He is. Hang on, give me a sec. 7.9 points, 2.8 boards, 3.1 assists on 41.8, 36.3, 83.3 shooting splits, 54.3 effective field goal percentage, and then almost a steal a game in 21.9 minutes.
He's played 30 minutes a game.
That's kind of his counting stats anyway.
He's played 30 minutes a game this season?
No, 21.9, so 22 minutes a game.
22 minutes. Okay.
I might have said 29. I apologize if I did.
That's like half the game. So
What can you say his splits again? You kind of faded out a little bit.
Okay, let me go back to it here. It is 41.8% from the field, 36.3% from three, 83% from the line, and 54% effective field goal percentage, which is 3 points higher than his career average, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. All right. The Knicks decided to, go with a point of attack defender. I mean, we can argue that they did that because McBride was having, hernia surgery, but the Knicks have been, the reports have been that the Knicks were associated with him even before the news of McBride. So just your overall thoughts on the signing. Jerrell, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Knick Nation, Escard. Jeff, I hope you don't mind going. I just feel like we talk so much.
That's okay. I'll go whenever. I don't let the smart people go first, and then I'll finish it up.
Steph, like you said, like we've been linked to Alvarado for over a year now. I think a lot of people saw this coming. People don't remember that we brought in Malcolm Brogdon to be a backup point guard. He retired in the beginning of the season. So this team obviously needed ball handling help. We've been saying that all season. So I think it's a good trade. We pretty much traded Yabusele for him, and Yabusele wasn't really playing up to his capabilities. You see tonight he had a double-double with the Bulls tonight with his first game. So I think it might have been a system thing, might have been, I don't know, who knows. But for a player that's going to be active and actually get minutes for this team, especially since Deuce is out, I think it was a good trade, especially since we didn't really trade that much for him. Any
concern that he's 6 feet?
Well, yeah, like allegedly, because he's more like 5'10 and a half, 5'11. But yeah, he's feisty on defense. I'm not saying that he's the best defender in the world, but he could get you some steals for the playoffs that will help us pressure in the ball. His ball handling will help us a lot in the playoffs too. But yeah, he's another short guard, so yes, he's going to have some negatives. Yeah.
Okay, all right, Knick Nation.
I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to down, what I think of him in a sense, but I just felt we had more need other places than, contributing point to having another small guard. And to me, extra small. But I do want to give Ian Bagley his shout out, because Ian Bagley talked about this for a long time. And I wish he had just told me and said, hey, listen, here, calm down. They're not going to get nothing else. And and I should have believed him 10 weeks ago is, yeah, we're getting Alvarado. That's it. Whatever they said and what's name, because it's been maybe about 8 to 10 weeks he's been talking about that's who that they had their sights on. It's been on point. So with that being said, it's just that, you know, it's like, oh, you know, it's like Christmas. Oh, what are these? Socks? Oh, okay. That I'm not thrilled. I'm not, you know. We'll
Until
see.
you put them on and you know they got a little hot warmers in there, and then you be like, oh, okay, all right.
Oh, hey, who hot in there? I agree.
Escard.
Yeah, I mean, with Jose, like I said, in a way, I want to see what he's going to do, because, like I said, we do need an extra ball handler. So I'm going to see how he is, you know, under pressure and stuff like that. And I'm glad he's playing against probably Detroit tomorrow. So that's a good test right there, you know, to see his, you know, ball handling. Also, see if he's going to be picking up, I ain't going to say 94 feet like TJ McConnell. If he's going to be somebody like that, that'll be great if he could do that. You know, be a pest on defense. You know, like, you know, that's his MO and stuff like that. So we need people like that, man, to, like, you know, get the shot clock down for the, you know, disrupt teams to get into the offense. We'll see, you know, we'll see. And then I want to see his ball handling as far as, I mean, his getting teammates involved and stuff like that. If he can be a attack guard down the, you know, like penetrate through the middle, dish off to Mitch, things like that. I want to see things like that, see if he can do that, you know. And also, like I said, I mean, I'm not too worried about his shooting, because I don't think he's one of the best shooters out there. But if he could, you know, hit some shots in there and stuff, I mean, that'll be a good thing. But my main thing is just like the strong ball handler. I'm trying to see if he's a strong ball handler, you know, somebody that can handle the pressure and stuff like that. Because Kolek is a good ball handler, but you seen when Bruce Brown was on him and stuff like that. And, you know, I know he was fouling him a little bit, but, you know, that physicality. So I want to see if he can handle physicality against those teams, because that'll be bode well for us in the playoff if he can, you know, to give Brunson some you know, rest and breather, stuff like that, to bring the ball up and stuff like that, which would be good. So that's what I'm looking forward to, Alvarado. Plus, he's a hometown kid, man. Let's see if he can come home and do some things for us and stuff like that, man. Make it more worthwhile for us in the playoffs.
Yeah, Ajay.
Listen, we got Jose Alvarado for Gershon Yabusele. Anything for Yabusele at this point is good. Okay, so he was giving us nothing, like nothing. So it's good. And then you couple that with Deuce going down, probably for the rest of the season. So we just needed somebody, and he could probably do. I mean, he doesn't have Deuce's shooting capabilities, but at least the defense and the peskiness is gonna be there. So that's kind of, you kill two birds with one stone. But for Yabu, you know, that kid Dalen Terry would have been good. You know, it's a good move. Again, you know, he's not a power forward, which is, I really wish, I hope and dream one day we get a power forward, but. I'm okay with the move. I think he's gonna help the team. He's gonna contribute something to his team.
Okay, Jeff.
Well, a couple things. First of all, when I found out about it this morning, I said that I was against it. But so I Queen and told me to do some homework. And so I did some homework, and I'm not nearly as against it as I was when I first heard the news. But I looked up some things contract-wise. One thing that I do like is it saves us about $1 million off the cap this year, and that's big, because that means we can sign our 15th guy, whoever that's going to be, right away, instead of having to wait until March 26th or April 2nd or whatever. It freed up a bunch of cap room. So now, to be clear, if you're getting someone on the buyout market, they have to have been making under $14.1 million. If they were making over that with their salary before they got bought out, the Knicks are not eligible. But anybody who's $14 million or below that gets bought out, the Knicks can now add to their team. And so there are some, buyout guys aren't great, but maybe we could get Kevin Love for Ajay, so we'll have a backup. Or I don't know. I'm just teasing. That's not. I'm not recommending that at all. It was just. But there are other guys out there, and buyout markets are not perfect. That's a 15th man for a reason, but it does open up that roster spot, and I think that is a plus. I think getting rid of Yabusele, the biggest winner in this whole thing is Kool Modi, in my opinion, because I think Diawara is going to get more chance to shine. And I think that the coaching staff really likes what they see from this kid. He sees the court pretty well. He's a good defender. He's not shy about shooting the ball. And so all of those things are positives. But as far as Alvarado, the player himself, excellent point of attack defender. With Deuce gone, probably the best point of attack defender we have on the team. His deflections per game are 97th percentile, so he's going to get a lot of hands on loose balls. That helps us because we already have guys like Bridges and Anunoby who swoop in, and Josh Hart who swoop in and pick those balls up. And then he also likes to push the pace on the fast break. When he gets the ball, he forces the tempo and attacks really well. And the other thing that he does that not a whole lot of our guards do very well is he's actually a pretty decent above the break 3-point shooter. That's actually where he shoots his best percentages. He struggles from the right corner. Oddly enough, he's pretty good from the left corner, but he's really good. He's far above average from above the break threes, which is really good when you're talking about fast breaks or kickouts or those sorts of things. And I think there's a lot of lineups that we can insert him with where we can, if we want to lock somebody down and we want to really get tough, we can put him guard 94 feet, press, trap, force turnovers, get easy buckets. I think he allows us to do some of those things. I'm a little bit more leery of him in the half court set. I'm not sure. I'll have to see that. But again, he's a guy that averages 5 assists a game as per 36 minutes and 2 steals per game per 36 minutes. So he's undersized. Yes, he does a lot of things that can help you win on a basketball court. And the other thing that impressed me is that the plus minus data, even on a bad team like New Orleans, was very good when Alvarado was in the lineup. And that to me says, okay, maybe this guy is just one of those guys who impacts winning without wowing you on the stat sheet.
I think you're absolutely right about that, Geoff. And the other thing I like is that at 6'1", he's going to be the toughest player on his team. And that's a fact. Like this guy, he's not afraid.
Mark Williams. If you
he's
did.
not afraid to reach up
and put it on him. I mean, he had to reach up like this. He punched him like 8,000 times in the face.
Right.
He's an enforcer, huh? He's an enforcer.
Yeah, right. He's the enforcer. Yeah, he ain't taking nothing off of anybody. And I like that about the Knicks. And I also think he's an energy player. Like he's one of those players that when he gets in the game, the energy of the team rises. Like he makes a steal, he gets a deflection, he creates a turnover. That can pump the team up as well. I don't think we have that. Josh Hart could be that sometimes, but I don't think we have an energy raiser on our team. So in addition to everything you said, Geoff, his toughness and him being an energy raiser, I like that. I like that about him. Would I wish he was 6'5"? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But I'll tell you this: Knicks fans are gonna fall in love with him. You're gonna fall in love with him just because of the energy that he brings. And listen, the Knicks may still bring somebody in off of the buyout market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. Is he in the Is he in the rotation? Do you think that Kolek takes McBride's spot and Alvarado is situational? Do you think it's the other way around, or do you think both play?
Good question, Steph.
Yeah.
As of right now, well, that's why you make the big bucks, Steph, because you actually. I don't know, man. I kind of figured that at first it would be Kolick, and then Jose gradually takes his minutes. I think the playoffs is one of the reasons we got him. So as of right now, I don't really care who gets more minutes, but in order for him to get acclimated with the team, I think he's going to play, but maybe Kolick a little bit right now. Have Jose get acclimated for like a week or two, and then not take over, but he'll just gradually get more minutes and more and more and more. And plus the way that he plays, obviously, it all depends on how he plays when he does get the minutes. Because if he comes in here and stinks up the joint, I don't care who we traded him for, he ain't gonna play.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. The one thing about Mike Brown, he gives you an opportunity, man. You get out there and show what you can do. I mean, if that unit is clicking and doing some things and making some plays, he's gonna keep you out there. I mean, you're gonna get in rotation every time you come in and you perform. That's all he asks, man. If you perform, you're gonna play. But if he come in there, like he said, stinking up the joint, not doing too much, not doing too good, he'll be put right back on the bench. But I think he's gonna play a little bit, and I think, like I said, I want to see, especially tomorrow. I want to see how he's gonna play tomorrow because, like I said, Detroit's gonna be ready tomorrow. Kolick is gonna be ready, so we'll see, man.
You think I think he's gonna get tomorrow?
That. Oh yeah, he's playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yabusele played tonight.
Yeah,
I can see him playing tomorrow.
he's definitely playing tomorrow.
And Deuce is out, so.
Yeah, I'm not saying he'll get more minutes than Kolick, but he should definitely play tomorrow. He should play tomorrow.
Oh, no. Somebody else said something. Pressure. What's up, Park Cruz? Yes, we have our miniature DiVincenzo. Wow. Okay. From your lips to God's ears as far as that shooting is concerned.
Without the 3-point shot, though.
Right.
JJ said Detroit lost to Washington tonight and Dorman got hurt.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
Any Washington win is a great win for us.
Yeah.
And
Detroit
Detroit lost too.
because if they keep winning, then
What
we
happened?
can't.
Right.
What happened to Duran?
Yeah.
Well, listen, last time we played Detroit, he wasn't playing, and we got spanked.
So we got BTA.
Yes, so that don't mean nothing.
Yeah, Nick Yak said if Brunson plays 36 minutes, only 12 minutes for Alvarado, I doubt they play together that much. Listen, I thought that with Kolick and Brunson. In years past, people thought that with McBride and Brunson, right? He rolling out 3 guards, the miniature triad with Clarkson, Kolick, and Brunson. So I wouldn't be so sure that his role will be just behind Brunson, particularly. Listen, it's going to take some time for the lineup data to come out, right? But on a bad team, the lineups perform better with him in it. If you get decent, if he can actually handle the ball, like really handle the ball and run an offense, and Brunson can really play off ball without being scared that he got to run back and get it because they don't know. That opens up a lot for us if that lineup, whoever he's in, because you got to think about the lineup. If the lineup can hold up, we'll see.
Steph, I'm mad at you. Let
Why?
me tell you why. Because of what you just said about the little people. Now my mind can think of his cat as Andre the Giant and little people around him. Got my head messed up. I can't get it out there. I can't get it out.
I mean, he would have to put, like he usually has that 3-guard lineup out there with OG and Mitch, right? So if he has Alvarado and Brunson out there and he has OG, Mitch, and another defensive player, we'll see. Ajay, any thoughts on him in the rotation? Does he play just behind Brunson, with Brunson? Does he take Kolick's minutes in the rotation, or do both of them play?
I think both of them gonna play. Mike Brown's he's gonna have to figure it out. He's probably, because remember, Deuce is not here, so there's gonna be some minutes where, and I know Kolick wasn't playing much when Deuce, but Kolick was still playing. So Mike Brown will juggle. He'll manage to get it. We have to. He's got to give him some minutes. We got to see what we got, man. We got to see what we got. And he's definitely playing. I'd be shocked if he doesn't play tomorrow against Detroit.
Yes, Sherman. Jeff has brought this up already. So we can sign players off the buyout market as long as they don't make 14 million. Yeah. Any disappointment in Alvarado? Any disappointment? Like, do you feel like at this trade deadline, oh man, all we came away with was Alvarado? Any disappointment?
Nah, you know,
No.
like what we trade him for? Like we didn't trade him. I do. Well, that's another topic, but I do like the way that Leon got him because like you say, if he did want Jose Alvarado, obviously he did, but it's not like we just traded him for Yabusele. Like he went through another team, made a trade, and then traded what he got from them. Like to me, that's good, front office stuff. But am I disappointed? Nah. I mean, unless you really wanted the Giannis trade to work, like anything other than that, I didn't really think we was going to make a team. Not for anybody bigger than Jose Alvarado. For what? Like I thought our core was going to be in place, except for unless we got Giannis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think getting a Jose Alvarado is a good thing. Probably for Tyler Cole in practice, so go up against that guy, passing all that stuff, the pressure and all that stuff, sharpen him up for for the season and the playoffs too. So I think that's a good thing, man.
Yeah, I don't.
Hey, Steph, I wanted to talk about Dylan Terry real quick because the person that we did trade for was Dylan Terry. And I see some people talk about it in the chat because Dylan Terry is one of those. A couple weeks ago, I was talking about like tall point guards or tall combo guards that could play a little bit of the point and play make. Coming out of college, like he was one of my players that I was looking at coming out of the draft when he was in Arizona.
So
I remember that.
Yeah, but for some reason, it just didn't click with him. Like this is his fourth year. He barely could get off the bench in Chicago. So, like when we traded for him, I was a little excited. I was like, okay, maybe we can, he can turn the page here. But once we traded him for Jose, I completely got it. Like I can see why Dylan Terry wouldn't fit this team compared to, I don't know what they've heard from Chicago, but there's a reason why they wasn't playing him and just let him go because he is talented.
Yeah, he played on that team with Mathurin, right?
Yeah, he was the
got traded today too.
Yeah, he was the point guard on that team. Like he was actually somebody I really, really liked. But once he got into the league, times it just don't click. It don't matter how talented you are.
Well, he was going against an extremely high guard team though, because they had a bunch of guards. And then in the last point, if they brought in a real guard, was he 6'8", 6'9"? So and he had Alonzo. Then he had Giddey. You got a lot. You had he had Alonzo on the team, and he had Kobe White, the Sumo. There's a lot of so he's going against a rough point of competition.
I think Brandon was there too, right?
But I think they got all those dudes because he wasn't good. Like, he was there for 4 years. Like he was there before Alonzo Ball got there and all that stuff, and they got them people because he didn't pan out. That's what I think. But I really did like him coming out of college though, and he is talented. I really do like him.
Yeah. Shout out to the art man, formerly known as Steve. He has a question for us. Damn, I'm mad late. Yes, you are, but we appreciate you anyway.
He's gonna be part of the replay gang.
Right. Hope all is well with y'all and y'all families. Alvarado is a great pickup, a pest. Don't know how y'all feel about Cam Thomas. Can he be remolded into a team player? Love, peace, love, and soul train. It's the music show right now. Music show. Yeah, they just waived.
That was weird, man.
He might be making more than 40. Well, maybe not because he didn't get an extension, right?
No, I think he got that 2 year, $28 million.
Oh, he did?
I think he got a 2 years, $28 million. That's what he got last year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but it depends on how that falls because if it's $13 million this year and $15 million next year, that's $28 million, and that would make him eligible, right? I don't know that that's the case. I have no idea what his contract details are, but I'm just saying that it's possible he could have signed for 2 and 28 and still be in our price range.
I think the Knicks are moving the way they're moving away from Clarkson. I think the Knicks are you're starting to see what they're looking for. Like with Thibodeau, he had his type of player. AJ used to get so mad at that. But I think Brown is having his types of, players too. And you can't be just playing one side of the ball with Brown. So
Cam only signed for 1 year with Brooklyn. He pretty
He's
much
on 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year, $6 million. It was more like, because didn't he go to like? He was restricted and wanted to leave, and they didn't want him to leave. So I think he just signed for like $6 million. And
I thought it was 2 years. Okay,
somebody's going to take him. Somebody's going to pick him up. He's a
heater.
heater.
Definitely not going to be us though. I don't think he fit for this.
Sounds like a Laker to me.
I can see that.
He's a Laker.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think the way the team is shaping up, the way the chemistry is shaping up, I don't think they're looking for a scorer. I think they feel like they're okay off the bench. Now, if a forward becomes available, I want them to rethink their position. But for a guard, I don't think so. He is talented though, so somebody is going to get him on the cheap. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I can see him going to Houston, a place like that where they got big, long, tall, a lot of defense, and he can just come in and light it up.
Yeah.
Don't let him go to Boston.
Who just traded Anthony Simons, right? Who was the sixth man? I don't know if he was. I think he was the sixth man coming off the bench.
Yeah, he was. I don't understand that move that Boston did.
They needed a center. They didn't really have a center.
Yeah, if you watch them play, they needed a big. Like they didn't have any bigs. And what about Lonzo Ball, Steph?
Yeah, I would have took a fly on. He's shooting like a rock this season, though. I mean, he was never a good shooter, but like it's just really poor. 30%, 26% from three, even 60-something% from the free throw line. I would have took a flyer on him. I just don't think there's any room for another guard on the team. I don't think. But I would have took a flyer on him.
Another ball handler, defense, but like you said, he can't shoot. He couldn't hit the side of a barn.
No.
Can't use him.
I think old man Mike Conley get bought out, but he's old man.
Yeah,
we can't even find minutes for Jordan Clarkson anymore. We're not going to add another a Mike Conley. Right. I mean, that was the whole purpose of trading for Alvarado. If we're going to sign somebody, it should be a front court player, right? I mean, otherwise we're unbalancing our roster even more. I mean, we literally have 0 minutes to give Clarkson if we're going to play Kolek, and even with the injuries that we have right now, I don't think there's a spot for Clarkson. So I don't think you sign someone like Cam Thomas, who's similar in skill, probably, and a duplication, if you will, when you can bring in somebody who's at least a rebounder and a defensive wing. How about, here's a thought. What about Garrison Matthews?
The shooter?
The shooter. He was in training camp with the Knicks.
He was in a training camp. All right.
Yeah.
He's 6'7". He's a wing. He can shoot it. Like, I'm not saying, I mean, but for a 15th guy, I'm just saying that he checks a lot of boxes is all I was thinking.
Did he get let go? Did he get let go? Because he was on Indiana, I thought they picked him up.
Yeah, he was just on some I think he was on the
Indiana.
Pacers, right?
He's on the Pacers, if I remember.
Unless they let him go. He was a Pacer, then I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I heard Larry Nance Jr.'s name be popped up. He's a big. I'm not too excited about that name, but he's a name and he's a big cheat. Other than that,
I would be okay with that.
Terrible.
I'd be okay with Larry Nance Jr. actually.
He's athletic, not too old.
Yeah, he can give you 10 good minutes.
He can give you more minutes than that, but you just wouldn't want to play him more than.
Right, I was about to say.
He's available the whole 48, Queen says, but you ain't gonna want to play him more than about 4 or 5 now.
Yeah, like he a body, but I'm not just trying to get a body just to get a body. Like he doesn't excite me, to be honest.
Yeah,
easy with the old word. Easy with the old
right.
word. I'm a little I'm a little longer than
Right.
tooth, so easy with the whole word.
Right. So let's talk about the Eastern Conference and how it's changed a little bit, and how we think the Knicks. Yeah, we miss you too, Delusional.
Salute.
Yeah,
Hey, Delusional.
yeah. Anytime you want to hop on, you can. Has Boston gotten better? Has Cleveland gotten better? And how did the Knicks match up? Jeff?
Well, Cleveland has definitely gotten better, just because I don't think there's any world where Darius Garland has ever been a better player than the Beard. So from that standpoint, they got better for the regular season. I'm not convinced that Harden is a playoff riser, and I don't think he makes his teammates better in the postseason. He's a good assist guy, but I think in a lot of ways he's an empty stat guy. And I think it's going to be kind of a your turn, my turn kind of a situation between he and Donovan Mitchell, which I think is workable. I don't know who they're going to guard. Like, I think that's a problem. Like, I think that's an issue. But if you don't have to defend well to win in the playoffs, then they'll be fine. But as far as winning regular season games, I think that they could climb to as high as the 2 seed. I think that he because I think they'll win. I think he's good at getting teams that are highly talented to win regular season games, and I think that's definitely Cleveland. As far as Boston it goes, they needed a big, and offensively, Vucevic does everything they could ever hope, want, or ask for. But I think you made a great point, and I don't know if we were on air when you said this. I think it was when we were talking before one of the shows, and you said, but you could play him off the floor in the playoffs, right? Because he's so bad defensively. And if you have a player like Towns, maybe we can. And he's 36. Now, I don't know if they're going to give him.
Really?
Yeah, 35 or 36. Vucevic is a, yeah. You're muted, Jerrell. What you say?
I didn't know he was that old either. He's 36 years old. Wow.
35 or 36. I'm pretty. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, he's 35.
But
okay.
But he's been in the league a long time, and but I don't know if their plan is to just throw him in the middle for 35 minutes either, because Neemias Queta and Jordan Walsh and Luka Garza and all those guys have been playing really, really well. So it may be just a situational thing where they can just plug and play him where they want to. And look, the Celtics, they could poop on themselves and they would get $1 million, because it would be the next person who pooped on themselves got $1 million. Like, everything they do turns to gold. Like, it's crazy how I mean, it's some kind of dark magic that I don't understand. Probably has to do with leprechauns. I don't know, but the Celtics always seem to make the right moves. So I don't doubt one bit that this one is going to work out for them too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any thoughts on how the Knicks match up with the change? Do you think it's
so
any change?
We didn't mention them. I think it's interesting when you look at. I mentioned this to. I don't know if you were on at the time, but when you look up on the advanced stats for Jose Alvarado, do you know who on offense the largest player comparison score or most compatible player comparison score is? Kevin Huerter, who just got traded to the Pistons. That's on offense, and I think you can make the case that Alvarado, although smaller, is a better defender. And so I think from that standpoint, I think that we at least matched what the Pistons did. I think that if we face the Cavaliers in the playoffs, I think that I think Mitchell Robinson can neutralize their bigs, and I think our backcourt can do enough to punish their lack of defense. And then I also think Boston, Boston's just really tough. I'm really curious to see how that game goes on Sunday because I really don't know. I don't know what to make of that team right now, except that they're dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Escott, just your thoughts on what's been going on in the Eastern Conference, and if you think that changes anything for the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, with Geoff, I think about the Celtics with Vucevic. I mean, I know he's downplaying Vucevic, but the dude's a double-double machine, and he can shoot from the outside. So that's another weapon. He's almost like an Al Horford. You know what I'm saying? A little younger than Al Horford. He's going to give you some problems because, like I said, he's a rebounder, and he can shoot threes, and he has a post-up game. So it's like, you know, he's an inside-outside player. Just because he's 35 don't mean he's done. So that was a great pickup for Boston in that sense. You know what I'm saying? They got a post player. And, you know, the Celtics, you know, they got shooters and, you know, they got a slasher driver and Jaylen Brown. So, you know, that was a great pickup for them. As far as Cleveland, yeah, I'm not really impressed. James Harden is a good player, but what play they going to get? Playoff James Harden or what? Because, I mean, in the playoffs, he really disappears in the playoffs. So, you know, and Mobley's in and out of the lineup now. Like, he's been hurt a lot, you know. And in the playoffs, Allen and Mobley, they can't contest with Mitchell Robinson, so I'm not even worried about that. You know, so the James Harden trade, I didn't understand it. Like I said, I didn't even know why he wanted to go to Cleveland or what you call it, but I don't think it's going to make a difference, man. You know, now Keon Ellis and who they got? Keon Ellis and was it Herter? Keon Ellis and for the Cavs.
Dennis
Schroeder. Yo, Schroeder. Yeah, Schroeder, he's a tough player, you know, of course, you know, he plays good in the playoffs and stuff like that. So that part will probably help them, but I'm not worried about James Harden and stuff like that. And then in the playoffs, we can't forget about Orlando too. You know, even though we haven't been talking about them and something like, we'll have to see them too if we got to see them in the playoffs. So that's another tough matchup at times, man, with Orlando, because you know Wagner is out, but I think he should be back and stuff, or he's already back. But that's a tough matchup sometime with Orlando. That's another team that plays physical too. So and Knicks got a little work cut out for them on that sense. You know, those three teams. And then Philadelphia, like I said, yeah, we just played them and stuff like that. So, but, you know, they always injury prone, so I'm not too much worried unless Maxey go crazy in the playoffs. You know, that's another thing when he goes crazy. And
I think Philly is legit, though.
Mm-hmm. They're.
Okay. Ajay?
Man, shout out to S-God, who says, S-God said Vucevic is younger than Al Horford. Like, at some point, you got to use the words less old.
Yeah, less old. Right?
Less old. There's the threshold that he's less old than Al Horford. He's not younger. I mean, come on.
Yeah, like, you're right.
I think all of us are younger than Al Horford.
Because Al's like, what, 40-something right now?
39.
He's 39, okay.
In the NBA, man, once you pass 35, you don't use younger. You don't use that term anymore.
Yeah.
In the East, I mean, you know, a few teams did a couple of nice moves, but I don't think anything that would, you know, that would lose sleep over. Milwaukee, we know what happened with Milwaukee. They got Nick Richard, Queen, your guy, went to Milwaukee. So, and they didn't give much too. They just give Cole Anthony and Coffee. You know what the Knicks did? Yeah.
Oh, the player. Okay.
The player. Yeah, no,
Amir Coffee, right?
Not a cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
Ajay, real quick, I think Nick Richards got traded again. He played for the Bulls. Yeah.
He went to the Bulls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Bucks did trade for him, but they sent him to the
transferred. So, because I was gonna say I didn't understand what the Bulls doing, so it kind of make a little sense what they did.
Yeah, they got rid of Vucevic and brought in Nick Richards.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
And Ivy from Detroit
got traded too.
To the Bulls. Yep.
To the Bulls.
Yeah, the Bulls guards. I like both Kobe White and what's the other one?
DeSumo, yeah.
DeSumo's in Minnesota now.
Yeah, they moved him.
Minnesota. That's a great move for Minnesota. Great move for them.
And Kobe White is Charlotte.
Yeah.
White.
Yeah.
Another great move.
And Tyus Jones is in Charlotte too.
And Tyus Jones is in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So if anything happens with LaMelo's ankle, they could still, have somebody that can handle the
and
handle the
and
ball and
Charlotte,
score.
they've been playing well lately, so that's very
Seven
two very
straight.
good moves that they did.
8
I
if
think
they
they won.
if
I
they
think they
play
won tonight.
They
they
won
play
tonight.
tonight?
I
They
think
won
they won
tonight?
tonight. Let
That's
me
8
see. I think
straight.
they.
Yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis went to Golden State Warriors for Jonathan Kuminga. So Atlanta did well on that one. They got Kuminga and Buddy Hield.
I was about to say that's who I actually was.
Yeah, Charlotte beat Houston on the road tonight.
Wow.
Houston's struggling though. The Celtics pounded them into sand the other night too. So something
Without Jalen Brown.
They're
Without
going
Jalen
through-
Brown, right?
without Jalen Brown. So they're going through
Without
the
Jalen
doldrums
Brown.
of Houston right now for some. I don't follow the Rockets, but something is not right on the planet Houston right now.
But still,
No point guard.
Charlotte-
Yeah, Charlotte's playing well. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
they-
are.
Mhm.
They are. They are.
they are they still outside of the playoff? Or are they even playing?
Yeah, they in 10. They 10 spot.
They 10 spot.
Finally, because they had won like 20 in a row, and
They're still 4 games under 500.
Charlotte had, Cleveland, excuse me, Chicago was right ahead of them, had lost 4 in a row. And I'm like, y'all didn't pass them yet?
Yeah,
So it looks like they passed them.
they're in an 8-game winning streak, just like us.
Wow.
But Detroit, the Kevin Huerter move is good for them. But the fact that they got rid of Jaden Ivey, so I think that kind of makes it a sideways move. Ivey to me was a very good player.
But he wasn't playing well though, and he wasn't getting a lot of minutes.
He wasn't getting a lot of minutes, but he played well in his minutes. I understand the Huerter move because they needed the perimeter shooting, which they're not a great perimeter shooting team. But he's not a great defender, which is what so they have 2 right with what's his name that was in Miami, Duncan Robinson. So, but those guys are not defenders, and
But it's about the lineups as well. I get what you're saying, but it's about the lineups that they can put out there because Duncan Robinson played for Miami, so he's not a great defender, but I'm pretty sure he knows how to play team defense, right? And so
Huerter's not a cone either.
And Huerter is not a cone, either. And if Jimmy J 689 says the number 1 defense in the NBA. So maybe they can put some lineups up there with both Duncan and Huerter, which really gives them space.
Right, well, yeah, I guess because they are a very good defensive team. So that's why I figure if they were gonna go after players, they would look at players who can't shoot but play somewhat good defense. But like you said, it's the lineup. Maybe they have Huerter and 4 great defenders around him. Same thing with Robinson, and it'll still make it tough for other people to score, I guess.
I think I'd be more scared of that Detroit move if Huerter was actually playing well. Like he's having a terrible season. He got traded for a reason. He's shooting like 31% from the 3 right now. So hopefully that will continue, especially in the playoffs. Because he's not shooting well.
Right. But he can shoot though. Maybe he gets right with Detroit.
Hopefully he don't.
I think you the right answer there, Jerrell. Hopefully you don't.
Hopefully he don't.
Hopefully he don't. I think the Knicks are going to be fine, even with the moves. Like if Cleveland had landed Giannis, I would have been like, that changes everything.
Yeah, that changes.
Right? But that wasn't the case. So I still think the Knicks. We're not taking phone calls today, kids. I'm sorry.
I think the most underrated move, Steph. I didn't mean to cut you off, Steph.
No. Go.
That Jonathan Kuminga to the Hawks, paired him with Jalen Johnson, is going to be a problem. Might not be this year, but going forward, once they get like a real point guard and maybe another big, they're going to be a problem.
That's not underrated at all. That is a great move for the Hawks.
Yeah, a lot of people not talking about Jonathan Kuminga. He was just wasting away on the bench with the Warriors. He can be an all-star caliber player.
He's still in the development stage. Because he didn't get the time that he needed to. So he's still really in the development stage. And if he can develop in that manner, yeah, because he's a tough physical hombre. I tell you that. He doesn't sleep from making contact.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, next season. Yeah, no, definitely next season. I don't really see anybody that was overwhelmed. I didn't see any real overwhelmed trade to the East. I saw some, good pickups. Stevens is just a real great basketball mind for the Celtics. As much as I disdain anything from Boston, I have to give credit where credit is due. He was a really good coach, and he's been a really good GM in that sense. So it doesn't, I'm not surprised at him maneuvering, making moves, and definitely not surprised that they got rid of what's the kid from Portland, because it was so weird when they brought him in.
Anthony Simons.
Anthony Simons. They traded for him, and then in the midst of the trade, tried to trade him again. So that's where you already kind of knew they was trying to reroute him out. So but where they got a little bit better at, I think in certain ways helps us, because you know what I mean. Anthony Simons on the outside with all of these other guys, all these other shooters, that became a problem as far as for us Knicks, for how we play defense. You know what I mean? We still are very good now, on the inside, but the outside shooting, guys sometimes miss, but we're still not that great at defending the 3-point line. So for some of these, things, it's, Harden doesn't move the needle for me, because he's got, like, as they would say, that blow by defense. He will matador and let you run right by him. That's where the point where he's terrible at. He will make their bigs better offensively, but he will make them worse defensively, because they will get into a lot more foul trouble, because he just has those lapses. He just doesn't, he doesn't have his high concerns on defense and getting stops at those questions. Yeah. So I'm not really moved by him, but if anything else, we'll see how they can, because like you say, like us, we're still trying to get on the string. Let's see what they can do after this trade and get on the string. Right now, we'll see. Detroit still worries me, because just only reason why Detroit worries me more than almost any of them, because of their physicality, period, across the board. And their coach's mindset it hard. If you're not physically going in it, you will ride that pine.
Talking about next year, again, a year ahead, I don't know how many of us are believers in the AD and Trae Young pairing, and whether or not they will even still be in Washington.
How many games they're gonna play together?
Yeah. Jimmy, you're right. Tatum can come back too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say about Washington is, they're trying to, it sounds like they're trying to go to Houston Rockets route, right? Houston had all those young players for a year, maybe two, and then after a while said, no, we're going to have to bring in some vets. And they brought in Van Vliet. They brought in Brooks, who's with Phoenix now, and that really turned it around. And maybe that's what Washington is thinking. Whether those are the two right guys, I'm not sure. But, like, we need to bring in some veterans to go with these young guys and start. You learn how to win by winning. If you losing all the time, it's just hard to get better.
The Pacers are the team to worry about next year. They traded for Zubac. They're probably going to get a top 4 pick, and they've got Halliburton coming back. That's pretty frightening, if you ask me.
Right.
I'm trying not to think of that at all, Geoff.
Sorry.
And they gave up Mathurin like 2 first-round draft picks. So this wasn't just I believe it was Mathurin's, Isaiah Jackson, and they gave up some first-round draft picks in that trade as well.
The Zubac.
Wow. They serious. They did. I mean, he's a good rebounder, rim protector. He's not a spacer, but on the interior, he'll help them. Yeah.
So everybody got
Matthews was big for them, though. Matthews was big for them, though.
So you saying that everybody got good in the East, but we got Jose Alvarado? Is that what you're saying? Is that why you asking these questions?
I think we're
Oh,
gonna
what
be.
he's gonna write it.
Right.
I think we're gonna be. We're gonna be good. Also, listen, as the good thing, if there's any good thing that can be said about Deuce being out, is that we've played with him already. Being out, it's not like he was playing and then now, boom, now he's gone. We've been playing all along with him being out and kind of getting used to that rotation without him. You know, so it's not going to be. We're already there in terms of playing without him, right? So it's just a matter of can we keep it up.
And between Alvarado and Shamit, we kind of they're not the same player as Deuce, but between the two of them, they kind of provide all the things that we want from Deuce. So because, you know, Alvarado being the point of attack defender, probably a better point of attack defender than McBride in actuality. And then Shamit provides the 3-point shooting because he's been lights out. Hopefully that continues, but we love the way Landry's been playing, so just keep up the good work. But between those two, the hope is they can keep the boat afloat until Deuce returns, if Deuce returns. But this is bad for Deuce, but because, I mean, you're talking about he was extension eligible this summer, and now you've got all these injury questions. Does he even make it back in time for the playoffs? I mean, it's really a tough deal for him, especially since he signed a value contract with the Knicks to begin with. So kind of feel bad for the guy.
But the Knicks know who Deuce is, though. Like, do you feel like there's something else for Deuce to prove? Like, do you think this is going to impact him re-signing with the Knicks?
I mean, it could.
Wow.
It could.
I mean, like, they know who he is.
Yeah, well, Jose played real well. Shamit keeps ascending.
Then they may think that
Why would you sign Deuce?
if yeah. Well, that
Especially
part,
with
that
Seth
part,
Nathan.
yeah. That part I agree. If you can get those other guys on a lower number,
Right.
than what he would be asking for in an extension, that's fair. That's fair. That is fair.
Or before they even come across that road, they could trade for somebody else. Like this summer, I think we're gonna, depending on what we do.
If the Knicks don't win the chip, listen,
I
take
think-
pictures of this. Take pictures. Because if the Knicks don't win the chip, we might have 4 players back next
It
season.
will turn around quickly, believe me. Quick.
Leon may not be here either. That's how quick it might turn around.
Exactly.
Whoa.
I mean that too.
Yeah. Shout out to Eddie C, man.
Word.
Appreciate you joining us from Costa Rica, if I remember.
Yes,
correctly.
sir.
Live somewhere else. We definitely appreciate it. Nick, yeah, why sign Deuce? Give us a break. Kid gives 100%. It's not about that, Nick. Yeah, I mean, it's not about sentimental reasons. I like Deuce too, but if the Knicks like, yo, we can get Shamit, he's willing to sign for $4 million a year. You know, they may not think he's better than Deuce, but they may think he's a better value than Deuce. You know, particularly if he continues to ball out the rest of the season.
And particularly if we're having to scrape pennies together to stay under the apron again, which I think they'll try to do unless they trade for Giannis and they need to go above. I think they're going to try and maintain that flexibility as long as they possibly can. And I think that's one of the reasons why they did trade for Alvarado, because they can have him back at $4.5 million for next season, which is a really reasonable number for a rotation player. You know, and they could get him to sign. There's a couple different options there that we didn't really cover. Can I go into them now, or is it too late?
Anybody who needs to, I mean, we've been on for a while, so if there's anybody who feels like they want to go,
Okay.
it's fine.
I'll try and be quick. I know I've been hogging the mic, as Craig says.
Really
but,
have been.
At least I'm honest about it, right? But so if he goes to free agency, we have his bird rights. So there's that, and you can go over the cap to sign him, or he can sign. He can opt in and extend. 6 months later, and then we can get him. If he opts in, he's $4.5 million for next year, and then you can sign him to a longer term deal worth a 4-year deal worth up to like 60 million. Not saying you have to pay him that much, but that's like the max range that you would be talking about. So from that standpoint, and I don't think he would get close to that, to be frank. But I'm just saying they're part of the idea behind the Alvarado deal also is cap flexibility in the future as well. So there's a lot of machinations besides just this guy is a fit on the court, which the Knicks front office seems to think that he is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So they have control over his contract next year, or they don't?
So he has a player option. So if he opts in, then he's with the team. If he opts out, we have his bird rights.
Okay.
Full bird rights. It's my understanding.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I also think Mitch's play this season changes things for the Knicks as well, because I think the Knicks did not sign him because they wanted to see, like, we're not going to sign him to an extension, let him play out this season. And listen, the season hasn't been played all the way out, but it's possible that they're thinking, to Jeff's point about flexibility, listen, Mitch is playing well. Let's figure out how can we retool this roster in such a way, like I said in the beginning of the show, so that we can re-sign him and stay under the second apron. That's not just something I want. I think the front office wants that too. Like, these are smart guys. They're not locking themselves in. And this is not a Mitchell Robinson thing. They're just not going to lock themselves in, period. Right? And I think they're going to figure out a way to rejigger this roster. And this is where Deuce McBride, if Shamet plays well, and they have to make these tough decisions that they may be like, listen, McBride's representation is asking for 10, 12 million. Shamet's representation will accept 4 to 5 over 3 years, 4 years, whatever. If we do that, and it allows us to sign Mitch, and it allows us to sign Diawara, because I think Diawara, he's a second round. He was a second round draft.
Yeah, second round pick.
But he's a free agent.
Right, he's a free agent. If it allows us to sign that, then maybe we do let McBride walk. Not that we don't value him, but it allows us to do these other things that we value. So this is what I'm saying, Nick Yak. It's not just about them not valuing him and he gives 100%. It's about how do you fill the best team and maintain flexibility, if that makes sense.
And how about this, Steph? Anybody can go.
Yeah, that too.
Like, if this front office hasn't shown us anything since they've been here, anybody can go.
DiVincenzo, Randall.
RJ Barrett was the number 3 pick of the draft, and he's gone. So if they could just send off a number 3 pick of the draft, they can send off Deuce McBride if they want to.
And send off Monte DiVincenzo.
If they send out Deuce McBride, they better get a trade. If Jared McCain can get your first round pick, Deuce can get your first round pick. I mean, come on. Some of these guys are getting first round pick for this. I mean, come on.
They're not gonna just let him walk. You know, I'm sure they would.
But maybe he's part of a bigger trade. Like, if you're aggregating salaries, staying under the second apron, Deuce McBride is a commodity that other teams would want. I know he doesn't have a lot of salary, but you can pair him with other guys and stack salaries and come up with a good player, and then rely on guys like Alvarado and Shamet to kind of fill in that role. They're not as good at players. That's not what I'm saying, but they can fill most of that role at a cheaper price.
Right. And Nick Yak, it's not about Alvarado and Deuce. I think you keep putting them together. Like,
exactly.
It doesn't have anything to do with Alvarado. Alvarado has nothing to do with Deuce. They even play different positions. Right?
I mean, Deuce is under contract for next year. Alvarado has a player option.
Right. But the Knicks have his birds right. So if they want to bring him back, they can. And if he opts in, he's back.
And back for cheap.
Back for cheap. So it's going to be interesting to see. I just think the point I wanted to make, the way Mitch is playing, changes the dynamics of the front office, because I think now, and particularly if he continues to play this way, he's proven they may want to re-sign him, and then they're going to have to figure out, how do we re-sign him and stay under the second apron? Something is going to have to give.
You don't think the injury concerns?
I think it is the
hurt them
injury
at all?
concern, but to me, as long as you're not going over the second apron, you know,
And maybe they think that the injury load management is working and that they have a program that they can use as a template moving forward that keeps them ready for the playoffs, right? Like if you feel like you've kind of managed this and the management system works and you get a big return out of him in the playoffs. I think it was I forget who it was, maybe Fred Katz, who wrote who posted that nobody values Mitchell Robinson quite like the Knicks do. And I think that's true because he does more for this specific particular team as a role player than probably any other guy in his situation in the NBA.
That's what them teams say. Trust me. That's what they say. And then they get you out there and he's gone. I don't listen to what them dudes say, man.
yeah. I mean, listen, everybody, like Jerrell said, everybody is expendable for the right price, right? I don't think there's anybody that's untouchable on this season, probably other than Brunson, and there may be a price for him too. It'll probably just be super, super high.
It's a price for him too.
If you're getting Joker, does anybody say no? Like, bye,
Well,
Jalen. I'm just saying that.
The way the Joker was limbering, I'm like, I don't know how many years he have left. I think if he get a cut on his knee, he might be out for a season. Like he just looked like he was really struggling to get up and down the court.
Well, he had just came back from injury though, Steph. He missed a lot of games, and I think
That's
this was like his third or fourth game back, maybe.
Yeah,
So I think he's still getting, roughing up in in the shape.
Yeah, I think he
And
re-aggravated some of it last night too.
because they
Well,
played
he's
him.
supposed to play
probably
20
more
minutes. He
than-
played 45.
And
He
this
had
time-
above his restriction.
Oh, he also had 30, 14, and 10.
and he was 1 for 13 from 3. So I said, wait, he had a 30-point triple.
Yes.
triple double. I didn't even know. I was like, wow, this
Talk about
guy.
gravity. Talk about gravity.
Yeah, triple double.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, for those, I would like to start streaming to Facebook. And so the QR code is over above Jerrell. So if you have not subscribed to the Dope Soul Sports Facebook page, please do so. I think we need just 10 more subscribers to start streaming to Facebook. So you can use that QR code, and you can also use the link in the show notes in the description. Subscribe to the channel so we could start streaming to Facebook. Appreciate it. Any last words, guys?
Nah, man, it's great to be back, Steph. Man, salute to the chat.
Good to have you back.
You come back. I'm on here for 3 hours. Look how you get me in the
right.
You got to make up your time. Listen,
Yeah.
you ain't had no sick days, so you come back.
Well, I got one thing to say too. Yeah, 8 more minutes, and my union podcasting says that I'm supposed to get double.
right.
I'm just saying, it's contract.
It was great, man. Great show.
Great show. Looking forward to tomorrow night's game to see how we measure up.
BTA, we got to remember that.
Might be again. Brace yourselves, folks. Not gonna.
They better show some pride. They better show some pride tomorrow, man.
Yeah. So Saturday I won't be able to do the recap show. So if there's anybody available that could do it with Geoff, because I could set it up, but I'll be driving back to New York Saturday. I want to get as early a start as possible. And then we play Sunday. I'll be back in New York by then.
What time Saturday?
It's up to Geoff. What time you want to go?
I mean, we can do whatever. We've usually been doing about 10 in the morning, though. So kind of think we should.
I'll do my
probably
best.
I want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to interfere with Ron, still Knick fans too much. So I don't know what time he comes on, but I know
11.
that once
11:30-ish.
11:30ish.
11-ish.
till midnight.
Heavy on the ish. Ron knows I love him, but heavy on the ish.
Even is.
Usually on like
So 10,
11:30.
because it's usually the recap show is about an hour, so 10 o'clock would probably be
All right, I'll try to get it myself.
about right.
Ron stay on for about 12 hours though, Jeff. I think
Yeah, like you take a little bit at the beginning, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
he'll get off until it get dark outside.
Yeah. Ron's good for cross country drive, man. You driving to Denver, Colorado, put him on.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna listen to you guys while I'm driving, and you're right. Then I'll switch. I got to get to Virginia, so and I'll.
Ron will
switch
get you to
Ron.
Virginia, I promise.
Ron could have got you to Boston instead.
Maine, Canada, where you want to go?
You could have went to the Celtics game messing with Ron.
Oh boy! All right,
Know the ledge. Know the ledge.
right.
Right.
Shout out to the chat. We appreciate you guys so active tonight. Shout out to the replay gang ahead of time and the silent listeners, man. We appreciate you rocking with us. Jerrell, Ajay, Escott, Knick Nation, Geoff. You guys already know superstar, all-star panel tonight. Yeah. Any last words? And we out of here.
Yeah, I just want to say tomorrow, I want to see some pride. I want to see some get back, man. I want to enjoy that game. Let's get a 9 games in a row, 9-game win streak. Let's go.
I want to see some grit. I want to see
Put it on for you. Some Jetas.
That respect.
Y'all just want to fight Detroit. That's all. You want us to
Let's
go in there and
see.
beat them up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind.
That's why I gotta
wouldn't
leave
mind that
early.
trip.
So I'm at my hotel by the time this no, that game is Friday.
Yeah,
7:30.
Come on.
Oh,
Tomorrow,
I'll
7:30.
be good.
7:30.
I'll be good. Friday. I'll be good. All right.
Tomorrow.
Until next time, family. Appreciate you. Peace.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine.